Welcome to the stream, everybody. We have some shorts to watch, you know. Yesterday's stream was really good, so I thank you guys for that. I was almost not gonna go live today, but I guess I am because why not, bro? Why not? So that's what we're gonna be doing. I'm gonna try to go live earlier. Probably way earlier because I know chat, I know. We gotta lock in. What's up, Joshua? Yo, we got a lot of people. Welcome in, guys. Holy. What's up? What's up, guys? Welcome to the stream. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day, bro. Alright, guys. Let me just see something. Hold on. Before we start, I think, let me see. Okay. Alright, we're good. What's up, Jayon? What's up, Alex? What's up, Hud? What's up, Anna? What's up, Ugg? What's up, Domi? What's up, bro? Alright, bro. Okay. The IRL stream could be Friday, bro. I don't know. What's up, Dorothy? Alright. First short shot, bro. Let's go.
The officer. My mom walked into the living room.
What the hell?
The officer slid a plastic evidence bag across his desk and said, "Your daughter got caught pickpocketing 6
Tomorrow's
people
your
outside
birthday.
the
Happy
local 7-Eleven."
birthday.
Her haul covered the counter. 6 wallets, 2 phones, a cooler of raw salmon. Daisy swung her legs and giggled like we were all having fun. "My friend taught me to do it, Daddy," I asked gently. "Which friend?" She grinned. "You haven't met him. He's shy. A boy was teaching my sweet daughter."
It's in this, bro.
She grinned.
I'm not gonna lie. This girl looks like she's 5, bro. What characters are they using? What?
Met him. He's shy. A boy was teaching my
You love my
sweet daughter
videos?
how
Thank
to
you, bro.
steal, and I was going to find out who. As soon as we got home, I called her teacher, asking if she'd noticed any strange behavior at school. She laughed. "Absolutely not. Your daughter is an angel. She sits in the staff room with the other teachers during lunch." I clenched my
What's
fists
up, Simon
because
Blocks?
I wasn't going to stop until I found out who it was. That night, while she watched Bluey, I went through her room.
Bluey, bro? Are we serious right now? Bluey? Nothing wrong with Bluey, but are we serious? What?
And found dirt marks by her windowsill. My heart was pounding, and when I pulled back the curtain, there were huge paw prints and claw marks everywhere. Was someone forcing her to sneak in a pet? When she went to sleep, I waited outside her room to see what was going on.
What's up,
and at
Taro?
1 a.m., she tiptoed towards her door and slowly creaked it open. I hid behind a coat tree and watched her sneak into the yard, so I grabbed a flashlight and followed. She cut straight to the 7-Eleven, and a shape.
What the hell?
Officers
Did I just see a bear?
to the 7-Eleven.
What?
What
the hell,
a
bro?
shape rose from the dark.
Yo, why is there a polar bear in the middle of like a freaking street? What the hell, chat? What the hell is going on? Why is there a polar bear? Aren't polar bears supposed to be in like snow, bro?
By the back door, I put my hand on my pepper spray, getting ready to attack the man hurting my daughter, until it stepped into
What's
the
up,
street
Faz?
light, an 8-foot grizzly bear. My mouth
8
opened in
foot?
shock. The bad influence
Bro, 8 foot is so what?
corrupting my daughter was a grizzly bear.
Oh my
Before I
God.
could move, Daisy ran straight at it and hugged its leg.
Oh,
the bear
nah.
shoved open the door of the 7-Eleven,
Oh,
and
nah.
Daisy strolled in behind him, and the cashier immediately put his hands in the air. "Not again. Take anything you want." The bear cornered him, and Daisy giggled as she grabbed honey, salmon, and Twizzlers. When they walked out,
Salmon. Out of everything, you choose honey, salmon. Twizzlers I could understand, but honey and salmon, bro. What the hell?
they split the hall and high-fived each other. She waved me out of the bushes.
What's up,
"Dad,
Anything
this is Steve.
VR?
He's my best friend." Steve sized me up and nudged a salmon at my feet. I took the fish.
What?
The officer slid a plastic. A police officer stormed over to me and my wife's car with his hand already on his holster.
Oh, nah. What do you guys think they did, bro? But guys, if you guys subscribe, I'll give you a shout out. Alright, so subscribe. And feel free to send gifts like laughing discos. Probably on the next stream, I'm going to put a thing up. If you send a laughing disco, it equals W. So yeah, I don't know.
Rolled the window down, and he leaned in. "You know why I pulled you over? You've got a child in this vehicle with no booster seat." I instantly whipped around and checked my own back seat. "Officer, there's no child in this car. We don't even have children." My wife stayed quiet beside me, hands buried in her hoodie pocket. He
Vegetarian.
pulled out his pad and clicked his pen.
They were the
"Are
star,
you sure about
Letitia.
that?" I laughed. "Sir, I think I'd know if I had
They
a
were
kid."
hiding
I
if
turned
I
to
used-
my wife for
I-
backup, but she was
I,
facing her window, and her legs were shaking, and I knew she was nervous. His thumb popped the snap on his holster. "Sir, check the vehicle again. My hands came
Oh,
off the
nah.
wheel slowly. I
Bro, there's nothing in the car. What?
gently turned around, and I knew something extremely strange
There's
was
literally nothing in the car,
going
chat.
on. When I turned back, a pregnancy test was an inch
What? Bro, what?
from my nose. I looked closer and saw two
What
pink
the hell,
lines.
chat?
Surprise! My wife was laughing so hard she could barely speak. You're gonna be
Oh,
a dad.
nah.
The cop
They were
tore
the
the
hiding
page
gift
off his
intern
pad and passed it
animal
through my
hospital.
window. Congratulations, Dad. The whole stop was a setup because there really was a child in my car. It just hadn't been born yet. He tapped the roof twice and headed back to his cruiser. Get that booster seat sorted. You've got about 7 months.
What? They were to start
The
Tammy.
officer slid a plastic
Shout out to Scotland. Or Scott Clan. Shout out to Slingshot.
evidence bag across his desk and said, "Your daughter got caught pickpocketing 6 people outside the local 7-Eleven. Her haul covered the counter. 6
I'm a OG. You gave me that chair combination? What do you mean, chair combination?
wallets, 2 phones, a cooler of raw salmon."
Shout out to
Daisy
Cohen
swung her
Gray.
legs and giggled like we were all having fun. "My friend taught me to do it, Daddy," I asked gently. "Which friend?" She grinned. "You haven't met him. He's shy."
We already watched that.
A
Bro,
police
I'm
officer's-
sorry. I'm sorry, chat. They were the 100 Tristan.
Teacher handed me back a test with F- written in
F
bright red
minus? F minus. My god. They were the gold coin Kevin Toast level.
ink. I couldn't believe it. I had stayed up the entire
Not
night
even a F plus. A F minus, bro.
before, studying until I literally
like a
passed
0.
out. I looked over at my best friend Jackson's test. A plus 100% correct answers. I asked him if I could compare my answers with his to see where I messed up. We had the same answer for the first question. Must be some mistake, but I kept
Don't
going down
spam
the list.
G-Master.
Jackson
Who
and
is
I
that, bro?
answered
What do you
every
mean?
single question exactly the same way. This didn't make any sense.
Okay, what are those glasses, bro?
Just to be sure, I even used my smart glasses to scan
How
both
long have you been streaming? Bro, for 6 minutes. What?
tests. They were identical. I walked up to the teacher and asked for an answer.
were to start
the math
Tristan.
teacher, Mr. Maloney, sat behind his desk, already looking unhappy to see me. He looked down at the 2 papers in front of him, then looked up at
Oh,
me
nah.
with an evil
Bro's angry, chat. He's angry.
grin and
You timed him out. Just make sure you don't time out for too
poured his
long.
water bottle out onto the papers. The ink bled, and the paper started to fall apart. What? Why did you do that? Unfortunately for you, the grades have already been recorded, and now you have no proof. Now sit down. I'll speak to you after class. I took my seat and waited for class to end.
Oh, nah. He's angry. Thank you for the live disco, Carter. W. Carter in the chat. Thank you for the hiding gift, Ranger. W. Carter with the laughing disco. Thank you, bro.
With
W.
no
Carter.
idea what just happened or what was going
Thank
to
you,
happen.
Carter.
The bell rang and the rest of the class left, leaving just me and Mr. Maloney. "Sir, what's going on here?" He walked over and pounded his fist into my
Oh,
desk.
nah.
I shot back in my chair. My glasses almost fell off of my face.
Oh,
I
nah. Okay, what are those glasses, though? When IRL stream? Probably Thursday or Friday. Probably not Thursday. Definitely not. Thank you for the Sunday G-Master. WG Master. And thank you for the Uncler G-Master. WG Master, bro. Thank you, G-Master. WG Master in the chat. Thank you so much for the Uncler and the Sunday, bro. W.
caught them before they
Thank
hit
you,
the floor and
G-Master.
shattered.
For the hiding
He
gift,
leaned in
getting
inches
famous
from my
right now.
face. "I'll tell you what's going on here, you little know-it-all. You're bringing the test
For the hiding
score
gift,
average up too high
G-Master.
in this class. If the
Oh, nah. The teacher's mad. They were the Flower E. Boney. They were the W. Teresa.
class scores low, I get more money in classroom funds. You're messing up my bag." He walked over to his desk. I adjusted my glasses as they slid
Shout out
down
to
my
20
nose.
prods.
As I said, "Yes, you may have answered everything correctly, but the grades have been entered and you have
Oh,
no
nah. Bro, why is this teacher crashing out over a F minus? It's not that bad. It's only one student, bro. You were the hiding gift. Thank you for the Flow State G Master. WG Master, bro. Thank you, G Master. Thank you, G Master. Shout out to Sandra with the sub. Shout out to Monkey Reed. WG Master, though.
proof, so there's
Thank you, bro.
nothing you can do about it. See you tomorrow." I pulled my glasses off and thought of how to get revenge. The next day, I made sure I was the first one in the classroom. Mr. Maloney began giving his lesson at the
WG Master.
smartboard. When someone knocked
Give
on
her
the
the gold
door,
coin
it
I
was the
see.
principal. "Mr. Maloney, I found this note directing me to come to your class during
Oh,
first
nah.
period." "What? I didn't leave you any note." Just then,
Bro's
the
angry.
smartboard cut to a video of Mr. Maloney's rampage from yesterday. "What is the meaning of this?" I stood up and looked Mr. Maloney dead in the eye. "You thought you could do whatever you wanted to me because you destroyed the proof. I guess you don't know smart glasses when you see them." I started
You were the
recording
gold
as
coin
soon as I fell
ICB
back in my
vibing.
chair. "So you gave me all the proof I need." Mr. Maloney was fired and banned from teaching ever again. My A+ was restored, and I ended the year with a 4.0. The teacher handed me back
W.
a police officer stormed over to me.
Oh, wait.
The teacher,
Bro.
my friends and I were in the backyard
gold
blasting
coin.
my older brother's exclusive
Oh my gosh. Nah, at first I thought that was like an actual gun, bro. What the hell?
Nerf blaster when
Penny
he ripped it
Martin.
out of my hands and shoved me like he always does. You're too much of a baby to even hold this.
Sure, Faz, we could do that.
Get your loser friends out of here. I'm telling mom you stole it. My friend's face is dropped.
Shout out to Scene. Wait, chat, what happened? Type 1 in the chat if you're still there. What?
So I yelled, I'm not a
I can't see my viewer count. Chat, what?
baby. I can shoot better than you. He smirked and pointed at a tiny can on the fence across the yard. Fine, hit that in one
That's
shot
a Michael
and you can keep the
Jackson.
blaster. Miss, and your friends are banned for good.
One?
And
Okay.
I'm telling mom. He tossed me the blaster, laughing.
Oh, never mind, it's fixed.
Because he knew I'd never made a shot like that in my life. My friends gathered behind me, hyping
Okay, that guy is super
me
fat, bro.
up as I raised the blaster and lined up the tiny can
Guys, like up the stream.
across the yard. I took a slow breath and steadied
it
my
up.
aim, dead on it, and I smiled,
100.
knowing I was finally about to prove him wrong. But the second my finger squeezed the trigger, my brother shoved me hard in the back, and the dart flew way off to the side, sailing toward the fence. He burst out laughing as I hit the dirt. You're pathetic. I knew a little baby like you couldn't do
Oh,
it.
hell
My friends
nah.
erupted, screaming that he
crazy.
cheated, but he didn't care. He just cupped his hands and yelled for mom
You're
while
the gold
waving
coin
them
I
off.
see.
Get out of here.
You're a
You're all
star.
banned losers. Then he ripped the blaster out of my hands and leaned down over me. You'll never prove me wrong. But then one of my friends started jumping up and down, screaming, he's a goat! He's the goat! My brother smirked and puffed out his chest. Yeah, I know I am. Not you, you idiot, your brother.
hell
My
nah.
brother spun around.
Thank you for the dollar, Curb Buy-in Meta. W Curb Buy-in Meta. Thank you, bro. And thank you for the Laughing Disco Gumdrop. W Gumdrop, bro. Thank you, Gumdrop, for the Laughing Disco. And W Curb Buy-in Meta. Thank you both. W's. Thank you, guys.
And his face went
Give it a
pale.
star,
My
Carter.
dart had
Thank you.
ricocheted off the fence post and stuck dead center on the can. His own shove is what landed the shot. That doesn't count.
the hiding
Right
gift.
then, the back door opened, and mom came out. Someone
nah.
called me. My brother opened his mouth, but I stood up and pointed at him. He shoved me on the ground and called all my friends losers. Mom marched
Oh,
over,
nah, that's
grabbed
crazy.
him by the ear, and
Oh,
dragged
nah, he's cooked.
him inside, grounding him as he flailed his arms and
He's
cried.
actually
I
cooked,
turned to
bro.
my friends and held out the blaster. Turns out I only needed one shot to prove him wrong.
Damn. You're the $1 Among Us. W Among Us with the $1. Thank you, Among Us. W Among Us. Thank you for the hiding gift, Carter.
I was reaching for
Thank
a
you,
Sprite at the
Among
grocery
Us.
store when I noticed a gap behind the fridge, big enough to crawl through. My mom was busy shopping up front, so I climbed in to explore. But when I popped out the other side, two big masked men
Oh, hell nah. Bro, are they trying to rob a bank, bro? What the hell? They were the hiding of Shaggy Waggy. Guys, subscribe if you want. Shout out.
froze and
Shout out to
stared at me,
Dominic.
and one was holding a gun. My heart started pounding, but then the shorter
Thank
one
you for the
crouched down.
100.
Hey buddy, wanna play a game? Help us out and you can have all the chips and soda you want. This felt weird, but my mom
Oh, nah. Would you trust that chat? Thank you for the live disco, Jennifer. Thank you for the $2. Encrypt it. Maybe I'll make a tutorial.
on how to stream like this.
And thank you for the $2 Among Us. W Among Us. Encrypt it. And Carter. Or wait. Or I mean Jennifer. W Jennifer, Encrypt it, and Among Us. Thank you all. Maybe I'll make a tutorial.
never let me have
W's in
snacks
the
at
chat.
home. So I nodded, yes.
That's
not
a
knowing
Cash's
how crazy
world.
things would get.
That's a I am
tall
the
one boosted
Lorax.
me up to a small window above
You're
a
the hiding
locked
gift,
door.
Matt.
Here's the game. Crawl through, open the door, and grab the treasure inside. But be super quiet. So I wiggled through, but I knocked over a whole stack
Oh
of
my
boxes by
God.
accident. Crash.
They were the
worker
5 hiding gifts, by the way. They were the hiding gift, Carter. They were the gold coin, Sammy Jean.
called from the front. Everything okay back there? The men ducked. The gun pressed flat against the wall, but I just giggled and unlocked the door. Inside was a room full of money, and they said the cash was the treasure, so I stuffed it into a bag as fast as I could. I was having so much fun that I dropped a handful right as footsteps came toward the door, and they yanked me into the shadows until the footsteps walked away. But reaching for the last stack, my
Who was the
elbow
hiding
bumped a
gift?
little red
Noah.
button, and a silent light started flashing. The men's faces went white, and the tall ones
Oh, nah. They might be cooked, bro. They were the GG Easy beasts, bro.
shoved the heavy bag into my
We love you, little Tekka. I said it, bro.
arms. Quick, you got the treasure. Now run it to the white van outside, fast. If anyone asks, your dad's
The treasure. What the hell?
waiting for you.
We're the hiding
So I
gift,
hugged the
Sammy
bag
G.
tight and ran, the chips and soda motivating me to go faster. I ran out the front doors, but the parking lot was full of police cars with their lights spinning. I walked past them toward the white
Is bro actually in a robbery? No, imagine they catch him and all the other guys just run. They
van,
just
hugging my
betray him.
treasure, but a cop stepped in front of me. Whoa, where you headed, buddy? I grinned up at him. I'm bringing the treasure to the van. My dad's waiting, and I get chips and soda if I hurry. But he
Oh, hell nah. They were the $1 Among Us. They were the gold coin, Sammy Jean. W Among Us with the $1 and Jordan with the $1. W Jordan with the $1 and Among Us. Thank you both. W Jordan and Among Us. Thank you both. I appreciate it. W's.
Looked skeptical, unzipped the bag,
For
and
both.
his eyes went wide at all the cash.
It's a Levis
Son, who
Fitz.
gave this to you? I pointed towards the back. The nice guys in the back. I crawled through the window and opened the door for them. His face changed.
Oh, nah, bro helped out. They were the
I'm
$2.
broke now, spouting, whale spouting, whale spouting,
What the
whale
hell?
spouting,
Oh my
whale
God.
spouting, whale spouting, whale
Encrypted.
spouting,
Thank you for
whale
the
spouting,
$2. They were
whale
hiding
spouting,
it,
whale spouting, whale spouting,
Cash
whale
App.
spouting, whale spouting, whale spouting, whale spouting,
hell
whale
nah.
spouting, whale spouting.
There we go. W Encrypted. And thank you for the $5 Among Us. W Among Us and Encrypted. Thank you both, bro. Thank you for the $5 Among Us. W Among Us, bro. And thank you, Encrypted. W's.
Changed, and he
Thank
grabbed
you,
his
guys.
radio. Minutes later, they dragged the two
Give it a
masked men
5.
out in handcuffs, and everyone was
W
calling me
Among
a
Us.
little hero. I
Give it a
didn't get
2.
why, but the police gave me all the chips and soda as a reward. But before I could open it, my mom
W.
rushed in and took the snacks right out of my hands. No snacks!
Oh, hell nah. Bro did that all for nothing.
I was reaching for a...
They were the gold coin, Sammy.
I opened the trivia game during my
Thank you, though, Among Us. W Among Us.
flight and typed my name in as Aaron Baum because my dad was from
Aaron Baum. What kind of name is Aaron Baum?
Thailand, and Baum was my surname.
Shout
But
out
when
to
a
the
flight
rookie
attendant
for
walked
life.
by and saw Baum on my screen, she immediately speed walked to the pilot. I thought nothing
It's a game, bro. What?
and kept answering chemistry questions. But
It's a
then the
game.
pilot's voice came on. We're making an emergency landing. Nobody panic. I was confused until two
Faz, just don't time out for long.
crew
Alright, bro.
members showed up to my seat. Please come with
That's
us.
a Leah Vang.
I stood and followed them, my heart pounding. In the cockpit, the co-pilot closed the curtains and calmly said, "We know you have a bomb on this plane." I immediately shook my head, but a flight attendant was already zip-tying my wrists
Give it
so
the press
tight my
F,
fingers
monster
tingled. She
fish.
pulled a tablet with the trivia game I'd been playing. "You put your username as Aaron Bomb. We know you're making a discreet bomb threat." I almost...
What? What the hell, bro? Aaron Baum, bro. Are we literally serious? Are we serious, chat? You gotta make that tutorial. I'll see if I can.
laughed, explaining Aaron Baum was just my name, but the co-pilot was already calling Bomb Squad and FBI through his radio. The best thing you can do
Oh,
right now
nah. He might be cooked, chat.
is admit you're guilty. You're already getting 25 years minimum. Then
25 years in prison or jail? Oh, nah. That's like 1/4 of your
the
year.
passenger pulled
Or your life.
open our curtain. "I'm flying to my daughter's heart surgery. She could die and I might not be there to hold her hand. Do we really need to emergency land?"
Yeah, do we
He was
really
sweating,
need to?
But the pilot held up his hand. "I'm sorry about your daughter.
Bruh. Bruh.
But this is more serious." A flight attendant escorted him to his seat without another word. We continued descending, and they kept asking
Guys, subscribe right now if you want a shout out.
if the bomb was
Just
on a
subbed
timer
in the
and
chat,
how
I got
snuck
you.
it past security. I begged to show them my passport, but they never let me. When we made our emergency landing, two FBI officers
Remember
rushed into
oh,
the
okay.
cockpit with a bomb squad holding my bag. They carefully unzipped it. "Where's the bomb?" They tossed all my things to the floor, and I again said, "I don't have
Shout
one."
out to Silvio. Shout out to Heaven
Aaron Bomb is
Brander.
my name. That's when the bomb squad member squinted. He opened my
What the hell? The Bomb Squad member. Who the hell is this
My
guy?
passport.
This guy looks like a Among Us guy, chat. Oh, nah.
Says here Aaron Baum is just his name. The whole crew went silent as they looked at my passport. Aaron Baum. The flight attendant
Shout
turned
out
to
to
me.
Kevin.
"We're sorry, Mr. Baum. We can offer you a $15 meal voucher for the misunderstanding." I opened
I mean, I would take that. I wouldn't even care. I would actually take that. Chat, would you take that? I would. Shout out to Gorilla.
I clinked glasses with
I would not say no. I would take
my
that.
wife and toasted to never having kids. She smiled. "This is why I love you. You're okay with never having filthy gremlins
Oh, hell nah. Shout out to Happy
running
Boy.
around." But then my phone
If you scream, I will donate $20. I cannot scream loud, bro. Or else I'm gonna get whooped.
rang, and when I picked it up,
Too loud.
an officer said,
I mean, it's the night.
"We're
But
so
yeah.
sorry. Please come to Orchard Fostering Agency right now." My blood ran cold as I told my wife I needed to go. I walked into the agency with my legs shaking and saw my
Shout out
8-year-old
to
niece
Twist It.
Lucy hugging her teddy. Her eyes were red. I knelt down. "What's wrong, sweetheart?"
Give it
"Daddy's
hiding it
dead,"
front.
she replied without looking at me. I felt my legs buckle because my little brother was dead. But before I could even think, a woman tapped my shoulder.
Oh, hell
"Lucy."
nah. Police, police. They were the uncler. That clapped. W, that clapped with the uncler. Thank you, bro. W, that clapped. And thank you for the live. Let's go, Gale. W, Gale, and that clapped. W, Gale in the chat, and that clapped. Thank you both, bro. W's. If you scream, I'll send 10. Okay, bro. Last one. Oh, hell nah. Thank you, guys. W, Gale, and that clapped with the gifts. Thank you
She wouldn't
guys.
talk to
W.
any of us. She
For the hiding
asked for her
gifts,
Uncle
Gale,
Dan specifically. If you
Rene,
can't take her
and
tonight, she'll have to
Jonah.
go into the foster system. I said I'll take her in before my brain could think. We climbed into my car,
Shout out
and
to
my
the
hands
shorty.
shook on the wheel. I told my wife I'd never have kids, but when I looked at Lucy sobbing into her
Oh
bear,
hell nah. They were the flowers, Samantha. They were the jamming gift that clapped. W that clapped with the jamming gift. Thank you, bro.
knew
W
I
that
couldn't
clapped.
abandon
Thank
her.
you,
We
bro.
pulled in, and I walked inside with a
W.
lump in my throat. My wife saw Lucy and immediately
Give her the
sneered.
GG
What's
easy,
she
Nora.
doing here? Lucy
Give her the
jumped,
W,
but
Ryan.
I told her to stay down and asked my wife to please talk upstairs.
Shout out to Luca.
She slammed her fork and followed me while Lucy sat on the couch. She slammed the door
That is
while
not a
tapping
couch. That's a chair.
her foot, and I explained everything.
It's out to Gene. I think bro forgot what Gorilla Tag is. Yeah, bro. Just dead.
My brother's death, Lucy asking for me, her being thrown into foster care unless we took her, but my wife didn't even
Oh,
hug
nah. They're upset, bro. Yo! Thank you for the $10 Among Us. Bro is not lying. And thank you for the Uncler Freddy. W Among Us and Freddy in the chat with the Uncler. Thank you both. And thank you for the $10 Among Us. W Among Us, bro. And Freddy. Oh, my God. They were the jamming gift. That clap. W that clap, too. W that clap. Among Us and Freddy. And thank you for the clutch to Jonah. W's. Thank you for the 10, bro.
She clenched her
W.
jaw, and
Among
her first
Us.
words were immediately, "We promised
We're
we'd
not
have no
against
kids."
Nora.
She stormed out and stomped downstairs before I could
W.
react. I followed her, but she was already in Lucy's face. "We're not
That's a
raising you.
Elliot.
I'm sorry about your dad, but you're not
W.
staying. Now go pack your
Thank
bags
you,
while
bro.
I call the foster agency."
W
My
Among
face
Us
dropped
and
in
the
horror
others.
because she'd already grabbed her phone, and Lucy actually
the hiding
stood up.
gift,
She
Blue
grabbed her
Monkey,
bear and walked towards the door
and
like she was going
Reginald,
to leave, and
and
that's when I
Jana.
called out, "No, Lucy's staying." My wife put her
Jana.
phone down and turned to me. "No, she should stop being selfish and putting this mess on us. It's not our fault she got unlucky with her dad." Lucy said quietly, "It's okay."
That's crazy work, bro. Imagine saying that. That's so rude. They were the laughing disco Among Us. W Among Us with the laughing disco. ISO speed is here in chat. Liar, bro. W Among Us with the laughing disco. Thank you, Among Us. W Among Us. W Among Us, bro. Among Us, you're the GOAT, bro. They were the hiding gift Gale. They were the W Among Us.
Okay, I'll just leave, but I shook my head and got
the
in my
hiding
wife's
gift, Gale.
face. "That's my brother you're talking about, and Lucy's staying." I stomped my foot, and my wife stepped back. "Okay, then choose, me or that stupid girl." I looked at Lucy, then at my
I
wife.
don't know, chat.
"Easiest decision I've ever made. You just showed me your true colors. Get out of my house."
Damn.
Her jaw dropped, and she threw a wine glass at me before storming out and slamming my door.
That's
Lucy
crazy
was still
work,
crying
bro.
as I dropped down and hugged her. "Uncle Dan's got you, sweetheart. You're staying. We're gonna
Uncle Dan. Are we serious? Uncle Dan, bro.
help each other get through this." We sobbed into each other's arms. I never saw my wife again, but 10 years later, I sat at Lucy's graduation, holding her bear and watching her get her diploma as she smiled at me. She's still my niece,
W. They were the flower Among Us.
but she's also my daughter too. I clinked
W's in the chat. Thank you for the laughing disco, Aiden. W Aiden. Thank you, Aiden, for the laughing disco. W Aiden, bro. Thank you so much. W Aiden.
glasses with my
Thank
I
you,
walked into
dude.
the school gym with a plastic gun
W.
and fake blood covering my shirt, ready
Okay, what the hell?
to win the annual
W.
costume
Aiden.
contest. I saw kids dressed in mummies and skeletons, but then a kid stumbled in wearing just jeans and a plain white shirt. I tapped him with my fake
Oh,
gun
hell nah.
and asked why he entered without a costume, but when he turned around, his entire face was gray. He was clutching his stomach and dropped to the floor,
Oh, what the hell? They were the hiding of Alicia. They were the W side.
and blood instantly began pooling
What the hell?
under him. I gripped my head, wondering if this
What? They were the laughing disco Fuzzy. W Fuzzy in the chat with the laughing disco. Thank you, Fuzzy. W Fuzzy. You sent 200 if you tell me your secret. I farted. W Fuzzy, bro. Thank you for the laughing disco.
was real, but then I saw a bullet wound in his back. A girl screamed,
nah.
and then suddenly every head snapped towards me. They saw me standing over a bleeding out kid, holding a gun with blood on my shirt.
You were the
"He
hiding
shot
of
him,"
Reginald
someone yelled
and
as a
Alicia.
teacher crouched behind a student to call 911.
What?
I instantly threw my hands up.
You were the
"It's
gold
fake.
coin
My gun
Chris.
is a costume. This wasn't me." I held
Okay, that gun is not real.
my
You
pistol
can
up to
literally tell, bro.
prove it, but everyone instantly started climbing over each other to get away from me. I didn't know what to do,
You were the hiding
wondering
gift,
if there
William.
was a real shooter in this building,
You were the
and
flower
just
for
dropped
his
down and
spoons.
gripped the kid's shoulder. "Please get up. Tell them I didn't shoot you." But he wouldn't move even when I shook him. I couldn't hear him breathing,
Oh, hell
and his
nah.
blood kept spreading
They
under
were the
my
flower
knees. My hands
Genesis.
trembled.
They were the laughing disco Tommy. W Tommy with the laughing disco. Thank you, Tommy. W Tommy, bro. Thank you, Tommy. Okay, tell me your cash app. You could just send it here. W Tommy, thank you for the laughing disco, bro.
Trembled as I threw my plastic gun across the floor, and suddenly I felt kids tackle me and pin me to the ground,
Tommy.
twisting my arms. That's when the doors slammed open. 2 cops ran in while teachers and students screamed I'd shot someone.
What?
They drove their knees into my back, and
W
I
Tommy,
cried as
though.
the cuffs clicked shut behind my back. I
What
was
did
still
bro do?
thrashing and screaming
They
I
were
didn't
hiding
do
it
this,
fuzzy.
when suddenly I heard clapping. The principal was on his feet, grinning, while everyone stared at him
Oh,
horrified.
hell nah. The real villain is the principal. They were allowing this go Sandra and Carla. W Carla and Sandra in the chat. Thank you both. Thank you guys for the laughing discos. W Sandra and Carla.
He ran towards me and wrapped a gold
Why do you
medal
struggle
around
to
the
say
neck
your
of the
name?
kid
No.
on the ground.
But
What
for
a
GT.
costume. This is why
You're
my son
6'7",
is the
Christopher.
best. He smiled, and suddenly the kid sat up, alive and well. My jaw dropped as he
Oh, hell nah. Bro tricked him.
spat an empty bag of
How'd it
fake
go?
blood out of his mouth, and when I looked closer, I saw the bullet in his backup was just makeup. He stood up and raised his hand.
Okay, Chad, do you think that prank is too far? Honestly, I kind of do think that's too far. If I were that kid, that's too far. Thank you for the W Genesis. Thank you for the Gold Trophy! Jimmy, first Gold Trophy of the stream! W Gold Trophy in the chat with the... W Jimmy with the Gold Trophy. Thank you, Jimmy. W Jimmy, bro. Thank you, Jimmy. W Jimmy with the Gold Trophy. Spam W's for Jimmy. Thank you, bro.
My costume
W.
was to pretend to be shot, but the cops uncuffed me and immediately cuffed him instead. Pretending to be shot at school was also your crime. You're coming with us.
Oh, hell nah. Bro, the tables turned on him. Thank you for the Uncle Avion. Oh, shit. Yo, we got bots. W Avion with the Uncle. Thank you for the left. Let's go, Avion. W Avion. Chat, we kind of got some bots in here. Yo. Benor, can you stop? Thank you for the finger art, Genesis. W Genesis and Avion. Thank you for the high five, Mr. Dingus Edits. Yo, mods, can you try timing them out or hiding them from the channel? We have some people here. Time them out. Just ban them. Thank you guys for the gifts, though. W Avion and, who else? And Mr. Dingus Edits. And thank you for the jamming gift, Daylon. W Daylon. Thank you for the 6'7" Benji. W Benji and Daylon. Just hide them from the channel. W Benji and Daylon.
I walked into the school gym. My mom walked into the living room and saw me sitting on the carpet with a Kleenex hanging out of my
Give
mouth.
her a live
Spit
disco,
that out right now.
Genesis.
I spit it
W
onto the carpet
Genesis.
and she
Thank you,
grabbed my
Genesis.
shoulders. You cannot eat tissues. Do you understand
W
me? I
Genesis.
nodded, but I didn't understand because I was
Is bro actually eating tissues? What the hell? You were the hiding of Sandra, Matt with the gold coin. You were the hiding of Christopher, Ricardo. Thank you guys. W Genesis with the laughing disco.
only 5, and I
You're
liked
helping. Thank you for GT. Shout to Guide.
how they dissolved into this soft mush on my tongue.
There were
So I
6'7"
just got
Genesis.
sneakier about it. I started eating them in my
You timed out for 10 seconds? Nah, just time out. Just hide the bots if they spam. Just do whatever. Hide them from the channel. Thank you for the jamming gift, Daylon. W Daylon with the jamming gift. And thank you for the jamming gift again, Daylon. W Daylon, bro. Thank you, Daylon.
room one at a
W.
time while I watched cartoons, dropping
We
the empty
Daylon.
boxes under other garbage in my trash can. Then one morning, I woke up and I couldn't breathe through my nose at all. My
Oh,
mom
hell
rushed
nah.
me to the hospital, and when we got there,
Why
the
did bro
doctor stuck a
eat
camera
tissues,
so
chat?
far up my nose, I was convinced it was going to come out the other side. He needs surgery. There is excess tissue blocking
They
his
were
nasal
hiding of
passage.
Zacco
My
Blue.
blood ran cold. The tissues. I thought about every empty box I had buried in the trash can over the past several months, and every time my parents
You were
looked
the
at me
W
that week,
Jana.
I was convinced they already knew. I couldn't even sleep because I kept imagining a surgeon pulling soggy wads
a
of
thumbs up,
Kleenex out of my
Christopher.
nose while a room full of adults stood around with their arms
I mean,
crossed.
that's basically what's gonna happen because, bro, he just ate tissues. They were the jamming gift, Jeanette and Genesis. W Jeanette and Genesis. They were the W Genesis. W Genesis and Jana. Thank you both. I appreciate it. W Jana and Genesis. And Jeanette. Thank you.
The morning of the surgery, they made me
That's a
put on a tiny
big
gown
Elon
with blue
care.
bears on it, and I lay there on the
Thank
table
you.
while someone put a mask over my face. Count backwards from 10, honey. 10, 9, 8. Then
What's up,
everything went black,
Andres?
and I woke up
You're the
with
gold
gauze
coin
packed into
Samantha.
both nostrils, and my mom holding my hand. All done, sweetheart. Everything went perfectly. I burst into tears, touching the gauze in my nose, believing that it was leftover Kleenex tissues from the surgery, but my
Oh,
mom
hell
just
nah.
waved it off and reassured me. It'll stop hurting and go away after a couple of days, honey.
Days? Talking days? That's not that bad, but they were the jamming gifts. Daylon! W Daylon with the jamming gifts. Thank you, Daylon. W Daylon. Beast mode, don't spam, but you gotta apply. Or prove to me that you deserve it. W Daylon with the jamming gift. Thank you, bro.
Thinking I was crying due to the pain.
Guys, keep summing up if you want a shout out.
For the next 9 years, every time someone mentioned that surgery, I
You're not
changed the
gonna give
subject.
Isaac.
Then when I was 14, I was taking notes in biology class while my teacher wrote on the board. The human body contains 4 types of tissue: epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscle tissue, and nervous tissue.
Oh,
My
hell
pen
nah.
stopped moving. Body tissue, not paper tissue. I slumped over my desk, realizing that the surgery never had anything to do with the Kleenex. My mom walked into the living
Oh, hell nah. Alright. We finished all the new sorts on his stories channel. We're gonna have to really scroll down. Really scroll down. Let's see here. Let's see. Damn, chat. Alright, let's watch this.
I manipulated my dad into doing
They were 6'7",
exactly
Michael.
what I wanted. On my dad's 50th birthday,
50? Damn, what an unk, chat. Somebody sent an uncle here, bro. What an unk.
he decorated the entire
Holy.
living room to look like him and my mom's wedding day. Your mom's
That's
been
a
distant
Sandra.
recently, so I want to surprise her with a proposal. Her smile is the only birthday present I need. When my mom finally walked in, she marched straight past my dad, who had his arms open for a hug and started eating like a raccoon.
Holy ego, bro. Hell no.
Mom,
Shout to
did you even
Stacy
get
Love.
Dad anything? She laughed. Get him anything for what? I looked over, and my dad was broken. I followed him out towards the hallway. How long are you gonna keep pretending this is okay? He just stared at the floor with a dish towel over
Shout
his
out to
shoulder.
Justin.
Your mother's not a bad person. She just shows love differently. I knew I had to do something to show my
out
dad
to
he can
Carly.
do better. So I left the house and knocked on my neighbor Vanessa's door. Some guy walked out buttoning his shirt, and she leaned against the door frame, still fixing her hair. Who was that? She smiled. Just some guy that likes me. I knew she was perfect for my plan. So I
Oh,
asked,
hell
do you
nah.
want to come over for dinner next week as my girlfriend? Sure, I guess. As she slammed
You
the
were the
door
hiding
in my
gift, Aaron.
face, I smiled brighter than ever. When Vanessa came
Oh,
over
hell
a
nah,
week
bro.
later, she marched straight to the dinner table and started eating. My mom sat beside her and started eating too. My dad looked stunned. We sat down with them, and I grabbed Vanessa's hand. I think I'm starting to fall in love with you. She didn't look up. Thanks, I guess. My dad was
Hey, yo. Hey, yo, that's kind of sus. They were the 6'7", Aaron. A few days ago, you stabbed metal through my foot? What the hell? That's an Ariana. What do you even mean, bro? In fact, don't explain. What? I hope you feel better, bro. What? Dang.
angrier than me. My son
Shout out
just
to
told you he
Andres.
loves you and you can't even put your fork down. Relax, Dad. She just shows love differently. I looked
Shout out to
back to
Jimmy
Vanessa
Bobby.
and slid a box across the table. I got you something, my love. Can I open
Hey,
it later?
yo.
I'm eating. I forced myself to tear up, and my dad stood up. I've had enough of you. Get out. After seeing how similar Vanessa was to my mom, my dad finally filed for
6'7", Aaron.
divorce from my mom. And a year later, on my dad's 51st birthday, his new girlfriend threw him a surprise party. I manipulated my...
W. Nah, 51
was
is kind of
teaching-
unk, chat. Really unk. They were the hiding if MT2.
The Great Gatsby to my third period when the door slammed open and 6 men with rifles.
We already
I
watched
put a
that, bro.
padlock on my mini fridge because my little brother wouldn't stop stealing my snacks and went to sleep feeling like a genius. But when I
Bro's not a
woke up,
genius.
Bert was already in my chair munching on
Bro got some Doritos. What is that? Spicy sweet chili. I just like the red Doritos. I can't even eat them though. They were the hiding if Aaron. Guys, feel free to send gifts like Laughing Discos. And if you subscribe, I'll give you a shout out. Say I subbed in the chat once you subscribe. He was walking and stabbed metal through my foot with a pitchfork. Oh, hell nah. That fork must be very powerful.
my Doritos. My padlock laid on the floor, picked with a bobby pin, and when I looked at my mini fridge, I realized Bert had put his own bigger padlock around it. The mini fridge is mine now. He took an obnoxiously loud bite
Shout
of
to
my favorite
Gene.
chili heatwave chips. Every crunch sounded like defeat, and I leapt out of bed because I wasn't going to be bested
Shout out
by
to
my
Funny
little brother. I
Atos.
grabbed Dad's bolt cutters and stormed back in. Here's a life lesson, lil bro. Shit ain't sweet.
Oh, hell nah. Cannot curse,
I
bro.
cut his padlock in
You're
half
the
while he was finishing the
GLHF,
Doritos, and
Aaron.
his face dropped mid-bite as his lock fell to the floor. That's when I laughed and opened my closet. I bought something stronger for this very
They
reason.
were the Laughing
I
Disco
pulled out a
Avion. W Avion with the Laughing Disco. W Avion, bro. Thank you so much, Avion, for the Laughing Disco. W Avion, bro. Thank you, Avion.
metal safe I
W.
calculated was big enough and put the mini fridge inside it.
Thank you,
Bert's
bro.
face dropped and he immediately grabbed
Keep
the
summing
bolt
up,
cutters
chat.
and tried to cut into
Shouts
the
to
corner
Guardian.
of the safe, pressing so hard his whole body shook.
Bro,
I
okay, first of all, where did you get that safe from? Like, what? Leave her the Laughing Disco, Cookie VR. W Cookie VR with the Laughing Disco. Thank you, Cookie VR. W Cookie VR with the Laughing Disco. You're goated, bro.
my arms. Bolt cutters won't work on this, Bert.
What
The
are you
mini
cooking
fridge
here?
is mine. You can't beat your big brother. I grabbed the Doritos and began eating, but then Bert stood up and clenched his fists. Watch this. He came back in with Dad's angle grinder and pressed it against the safe. Nothing. Then he tried Dad's industrial handheld saw.
Bro, that is not working. What the hell? They were allowed. Let's go. Blueberry and Flo. W Blueberry and Flo in the chat. Thank you both, bro. They were the hiding gifts, Ricardo. W Blueberry and Flo.
The
Thank
safe
you.
didn't even have a
W.
scratch. I laughed at him. You need the code to get in, and you're never getting it. But Bert's face turned into a smile. We'll see about that. He walked
W.
out, and 2 minutes later returned with a stick of dynamite. Pretty cool what you can find in Dad's shed. He placed the dynamite beside the safe and took out a lighter. Now what's the code? My face went
That's a
pale, and
gorilla.
I immediately put up my hands. Chill, Bert. My mouth was full of Doritos. It's not
the
worth
hell?
it. It absolutely is. He lit the
a
fuse,
chili
and my
Lucci.
hands trembled as Bert smirked. The code, Lil Boy. I dropped to my knees as it was seconds
What's the
away
code,
from
Lil
blowing.
Boy?
1, 2, 3, 4. Bert blew out the
1, 2, 3, 4. What is that code, bro? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the most guessable code, chat. They were to laugh. Let's go MT do. WMT the W1 Productions. W Mount the W1 Productions. They were to laugh. Let's go, bro. W.
dynamite right as it reached
Thank you,
the
bro.
end. He put in the code and the safe opened. He grabbed the mini fridge. Here's a life lesson, big bro. Bert's a bad man. Remember that. He carried the mini fridge to his room.
Could have
while I
guessed
looked at
that
the
while
stick of
sleeping.
dynamite
Yeah,
at my
bro.
feet. My brother nearly blew us both up over some Doritos.
They were to laugh.
I
Let's
put a
go.
padlock
I'm
on my
Rat
mini-
Chat. W I'm Rat
The
Chat
only
with the laughing disco. Thank you, I'm Rat
I
Chat.
woke up one morning and didn't
W.
feel my wife Sandra next to me. I didn't
You
think
on Rat
much,
Chat.
but when I went downstairs, I found a note on the kitchen table. I'm leaving to go find myself. I'll be back one day.
You already watched that,
Coach
bro.
gave us a
My
shot at
bad.
no Saturday practice and then tried to cheat us out of it. He walked into practice and caught me and Kevin laughing in the free throw line. And instead of
Oh,
running
hell
us
nah.
both, he crossed his arms and said,
Bro, every time, bro, I cannot hold in my laugh. Like, let's say, shout out to Timmy. I'm not even trying to be rude. Let's say my teacher says that their son passed away. I'm trying to hold it in. And I know it's bad, so I try to hold it in, right? I just can't, bro. I just laugh. Can't you guys relate to that, bro? Like I laugh so much, bro.
I've got a better idea. 10 free throws in a row each. You do it, and Saturday's yours. Miss one, and the whole team runs 100 laps. Kevin stepped up first and knocked all
They were
10
the
down
6'7".
without
I'm
blinking.
Rat Chat. They were the W
Like
Maggie.
it was warm-up, and now every single person in that gym was looking at me. I stepped to the line and hit the first one, then the second, and by the fifth, the whole gym had gone quiet, and by the ninth,
Shout out to
everyone was on their
Jason's
feet,
World.
and coach had stopped writing out lap sheets and was just watching. One left. I bounced the ball 3 times the way I always do, took a
Yes.
breath, and let it go. That's when the clipboard
Come on,
came
bro.
flying across the court and caught
He
the
has to
ball
make it,
just enough
chat.
to send it offline, hitting the top of the backboard first,
Come
bouncing
on.
down to the front of the rim, rattling around
Okay,
the edge,
why-
and
what
coach
the
had
hell?
already turned away with his arms out smiling
Come
before
on.
it settled. Oops, looks like you guys are running today. He didn't even finish the sentence
Come on,
before
watch,
the whole
watch,
team cut him
watch.
off screaming. The ball had dropped clean through the net, and not one of us had
W.
looked away. When he turned back around and saw it sitting there, his clipboard was already on the
It
floor,
made it.
and his jaw locked
It made it,
tight.
bro.
He didn't say a word the whole time he went around taking back
made
every
it.
lap sheet he'd handed out. Nobody ran a single lap that Saturday.
It made
Coach
it in
gave
the
us a
hoop.
shot at no
W.
Our bus
That's
driver had
ousted.
run our route for years, so when he blew past the first stop, nobody panicked. But by the third, missed stop, the back of the bus smelled wrong, sharp and chemical, and a girl in front of me started
Oh,
coughing
nah.
into her
What?
sleeve. What's that smell? I called up the aisle, and he kept his eyes forward. Just some engine trouble. Sit tight, he said. But his eyes found mine in the rearview mirror and held there a second too long, and I eased
Why is
back
bro going so fast? Holy. Shout out to Gabel
into my
TCH.
seat. Then I looked down. A bundle of clothes
What the? What the hell, bro?
Was stuffed under the back
What's
bench,
it? Is
soaked
I?
in something that smelled like gasoline, and a dark line of it was creeping up the aisle. I had to stop this bus, or every kid on it was
Yeah,
going
bro.
to burn
I mean, you
alive.
gotta stop it, chat, or
The
else
fumes
it's
got
over.
so thick I had to breathe through my shirt, and kids were on their knees gagging and slamming flat hands against the windows.
They might die, bro.
But the
Hell
latches
nah.
wouldn't budge.
It's a
A boy
Spider-Man.
ripped the fire extinguisher off the wall by the
Bro, I thought that looked like Prime, bro. Average in GTA. Yo, I gotta get GTA, bro.
door and swung it at the glass, but the driver snatched it away one-handed and wedged it down beside his seat.
Bro.
Open the door, we can't breathe, a girl screamed at the front,
Exactly,
and the
bro.
driver just gripped the wheel. Then he pulled over on an empty road. The front door hissed open, and kids stumbled over each other toward the air.
Oh my
But
god.
it only stayed open long enough for a man to step inside. Then it slammed shut, and the bus rolled on.
Oh, hell nah. What the hell?
The man held up a lighter,
Sorry.
fire flickering
Okay.
at his fingertips. He walked the aisle slow, eyes locked on me, and stopped with the flame an inch above the soaked clothes. Hey kid, remember the
Hey kid, want some candy?
basketball court? You pointed me out to the cops, and your little story bought me 4 years inside. Dear old dad knew right where to find you. He nodded at the driver,
Oh nah, so they're all cooked,
who
chat.
wouldn't meet his eyes in the mirror. My
It's
legs
over.
went weak, but 2 kids hauled the arm with the lighter toward the ceiling. 3 more tackled his knees, and I lunged for his wrist
W.
as the flame dipped and lifted and dipped again. It wasn't a story, I screamed from under the pile. He was beating a kid half to death, and that's all I ever told them. The man grinned, still forcing the lighter toward the floor.
Lock in,
You should have
come on,
kept your
give it
mouth
a
shut.
star.
The driver slammed the brakes so hard we all
Oh my god, this guy looks like freaking Mr. Clean.
slid into the seats, and he was up with the extinguisher he'd taken from that boy. You told me you didn't
If the dog take bath but baths a dinosaur, how do you ride Dino Nugget? You gotta eat the Dino Nugget and then eat the whole bath.
do it. Then he pulled the pin and buried the
That's
back
how
of
to
the
do it,
bus
bro.
in foam.
Shout
The
out to
soaked
Just
clothes,
Vikings.
the line up the aisle, us, until everything was white. His son tore one arm free, finally got the lighter lit, and dropped it. The flame died in the foam against my shoe. There was nothing left for it to burn. His boots slid out from under him in the foam, and the kids
They
pinned
got him, bro. W's in
him
the
there.
chat.
And the man who had driven us safely down that road for years stood over his own son and finally let the empty extinguisher fall.
Oh, hell nah, he's cooked. Chat, let's hit 136k, bro. Thank you for the hiding it FNAF 2 guy. Come on. Everybody subscribe if you want a shout out. Say I subbed in the channel, got you. But W story.
I came home to every light in the house on and told my son each one was going to cost him $1.
That's
He
a
was on the
Joe's
couch with
jokes.
the TV on, 2 lamps going, and the hallway lit up
Holy.
behind him.
You do not need all those lights on. Shout out to Liam. Shout out to Thiago. They were the clutch FNAF 2 guy. W Daddy, yes sir. Guys, feel free to send gifts like Laughing Discos. It helps out the channel. And helps out me.
I pulled $1 from my wallet and
You know.
stuck it on the fridge. The first one's on me, but from now on, every light you
Shout out to
leave on
Chris Steele.
costs you one of these. By the end of the week, there were $9 on the fridge. He didn't
We're
care
hiding
until
it,
he went to
Colton.
buy the video game he'd been saving for and came up short. He sat on his bed counting his money over and over, and it still wasn't enough. The
That's
next
Andreas.
morning, I left the bathroom light on, and he was waiting for me in the hallway. He flipped the switch and held out his hand. Light was on, Dad. That's $1. I laughed and handed it to him.
They were
He
hiding
didn't
it,
laugh back.
Colton.
He just pocketed it and walked away. After that, a notebook showed up on the kitchen table. Every room had a
Shout out to
column, and
Elijah.
every time someone left a light on, he logged it. I unplugged my phone charger one morning, and he appeared
to
out of
Levy.
nowhere. Dad, that's been on all night. It counts. You owe me $1.
Oh, nah.
He started
Bro owes
checking the
him
power
$1.
bill every month, and one night at dinner, he slid it across the table and pointed at the
That's not even that much.
number.
$120?
Dad, look, we saved $20 this month. Last week, I walked into the garage, and he was up on a step
Shout
stool
out to
changing
Jackie.
a light
Guys, feel free to send gifts like Laughing Discos if you want.
Dad, these are the good ones. They last like 10 years. Last night, I left the hallway
Shout out
light
to XS9fo. They were the jamming gift, Starry Rants. W Starry Rants with the jamming gift. Thank you, Starry Rants. Jace wants to collab with me. What did he say, bro? What do you mean? W Starry Rants with the jamming gift. Thank you, bro.
on, and he came out of his room in his pajamas, notebook in hand. He flipped the switch and held out his palm. That's $1, Dad. I shook my head and handed it over. Best dollar I ever spent. I came home.
W.
My friend in the back seat yelled, "There's no cops,
W
just
Starry
go."
Rants.
So I looked
Shout out
both
to
ways
Potato
and
Potato. Guys, send gifts if you want. It helps out. And
Random.
I'll say W's. And say your name.
red light. But as soon as I did, red and blue lights lit up right behind us. Both my friends in the back seat started screaming at me to floor
This is not GTA, bro. What the hell?
it and lose him. I hadn't had a single drink all night, but they'd had enough for all three of us. The cop was at my window before I even put it in park. I handed him my license and my friend leaned over my shoulder. Officer, he's actually
hiding
a really
him.
good driver. The cop
Freddie
raised an
and
eyebrow.
Churkin.
Sir, have you been drinking tonight? My friend sat up straight. No, sir. We were at a library. A library at 2 in the morning.
hiding
It
him.
was a
Zero G.
24-hour library for studying. I shook my head. The cop opened the back doors and both my friends spilled out. One of them grabbed the window crank trying to pull himself up. The other one stood up and his whole body started rocking back
You were
and
the hiding
forth.
of
The cop
Katrina.
looked at me. You're clearly sober, but I still have to write you a ticket for the light. One of my friends stumbled over. Officer, what if we pay the ticket right now? He reached into his pocket and pulled out a handful of Monopoly money. I've got like 500 here.
Bro, Monopoly money? Are you
The
serious?
cop stared at the bills. Sir, that's not real money. My friend looked down at the bills. That explains why McDonald's wouldn't take it earlier. The
Oh,
cop bit
hell
his lip,
nah.
trying not
Bro tried using Monopoly money for McDonald's.
to laugh. My other friend yelled, "Wait, I can fix this," and tried to do a cartwheel. He went sideways and landed face first in a bush.
Oh,
the cop
bro's
handed
cooked.
me the ticket, shaking his head, and my friend tried getting up from the bush and fell right back into it. My friend,
Shout out to Pepper Grinder.
when a firefly bit me at a cookout, I dropped my burger
Oh,
and texted
is bro gonna become Spider-Man? No, Spider-Fly? Never clutch. Zero G. No, Fly Man.
my boss.
Yeah,
I
fly
quit
man.
because I knew I'd just been chosen. I'd seen every superhero movie ever made. A bug bites you. You wake up swinging between skyscrapers. My brother asked if fireflies even have teeth, and I told him destiny doesn't answer stupid questions. I gave myself 1 week to master my powers
Give it
and
a gold
find my
coin,
first
zero
bad
G.
guy. Day 1, I stood in my living room and snapped my wrist at the wall like I
Okay, bro, are we serious? We're in real life. You cannot.
practiced 100 times. Nothing came out but a sneeze.
Cannot.
I figured my powers just needed to warm up. Day 3, something twitched on my back, and two
Give it a
wings
gold
the
coin
size
again,
of my
zero
thumbnails
G.
unfolded behind me. I screamed so loud my neighbor banged on the wall. I could fly.
Bro's
I climbed
becoming
onto
a
my
fly.
window ledge 2 floors up, spread my arms,
Oh,
and jumped.
nah.
The wings flapped exactly hard
Yo, what the hell? What are those wings, bro?
enough to do absolutely nothing. I went straight down into the dumpster behind my building. Lying in a pile of banana peels, I noticed my hands were glowing. Not glowing cool, glowing like a nightlight in the middle of a sunny afternoon, where nobody could even tell. That was my big superpower. Not webs, not flying, not super strength. Just a human glow stick that was completely
You would've
useless.
started the
The
Brother
harder I panicked
Appliance.
about wasting my one shot at being special, the brighter I burned, and I sat in that dumpster,
Oh,
ready
nah.
to give up. That night, I walked to the corner store,
Bro's
still glowing.
powers is just like glowing white, bro.
Ready to tell
hell?
everyone the firefly thing was a bust. 2 guys came sprinting out with the register in their arms, headed right for the car parked behind me. I was so scared, I lit up like a stadium, so both of them threw their arms over their eyes and ran
Chat, let's hit 136K. Come on, chat.
face first into the streetlight pole. They dropped
Let's
on the
do it,
sidewalk
let's do
next
it.
to the busted register, out cold. I stood there glowing
Come
over
on,
2
guys. Subscribe if you want a shout out.
knocked out robbers, and the superpower I swore was useless had just stopped a robbery. I jumped up and down, then dropped to my knees crying, because I really was special. Spider-Man. My brother,
Wait,
when a firefly
Spider-Man
special,
what?
Spider-Man could never. When My
Spider-Man
brother
can, bro. Shout out to
bet
Roman.
me a PS5 I couldn't win a
A
game of
Roman.
hide and seek, so I instantly dove into a
Shout out to
dumpster to
Alex.
prove him wrong. Wet sludge ran into my socks, and
Oh, we already
a
watched
bald
that.
man sat down at my barbershop, and I
You already
looked at
watched
the
that.
kitchen drawer, and my mom pointed at. We had 10
think
minutes
we
to
watched
find the
that.
killer in the room with
You
us.
wait.
I looked at the kitchen drawer, and my mom pointed at me from across the room. Don't even think about it.
Shout out to
that drawer
Matthew.
had been locked my whole life, and the key lit.
We watched that.
I was
I'm
grabbing
so
a
sorry.
lollipop from the bowl on the bank counter when a man
Okay.
burst through the doors with a gun.
Shout out to Rachel.
Everybody down, he screamed, waving his gun at everyone. I panicked and dove behind the teller counter.
Why does bro have a lollipop? What the
But
hell?
my mom was in the lobby, dropping to her knees with the other customers. She called my name,
That's a
searching
AC
for me,
little
but he
Timmy.
yelled, "Everyone shut the hell up and let me get my money. Nobody leaves
were the hiding
until I
if
do."
Ezra
I
bit.
pressed myself against the counter, my heart slamming because my mom is all I have, and I had to do something before he hurt her. Police sirens wailed
He has to do something,
in the
bro.
distance, and the
Anything.
robber's head snapped toward the window. "Crap, let's do this quick," he screamed.
Oh, hell nah. They were the laughing disco. Roman. W. Roman with the laughing disco. Thank you, Roman. W Roman with the laughing disco. Thank you so much, bro. W Roman.
He shoved his gun at the teller, who
W.
was only 10 feet away from me. The teller threw his hands up, then
Thank
fumbled
you,
the
bro.
drawer open and stuffed cash into the bag, crying. I stayed frozen behind the counter, my whole body shaking, watching my mom out in the lobby shaking.
Shout out to
Then
Mason
I saw
R.
a red lockdown button on the wall, the kind that seals the whole bank and could stop him. But when I reached for it, I saw the keypad beside it. It needed a code, and I didn't know it. I was so close to saving.
Maybe the code is probably, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4. The order laughing disco, Roderick. Child, what do you think the code is gonna be? W Roderick with the laughing disco. Thank you, Roderick. W Roderick.
Her, and I still couldn't do
Thank
anything.
you, bro.
Then the sirens grew louder,
Over the hiding
and the
gift,
robber
Merce.
panicked. My mom kept screaming my name, so he stormed over.
What is my favorite gift? I like laughing discos, or maybe I don't know. Goat trophies? I don't know, bro.
And yanked her up by the arm. Shut up! You're coming
That's
with
a random.
me. He pressed the gun to her head and dragged her toward the
Oh,
doors.
nah.
And I knew if he walked out that door with her, I'd never see her again.
Shout
the
out to
robber was
Owen.
one step from the doors. My mom locked against his chest, her feet dragging. I was guessing codes
They
frantically,
they
but
might
they
be
all
cooked.
were wrong. Then the teller beside me, hands still up, whispered 4, 7, 2, 9.
What the hell? What kind of code is that? They were the hiding gift, Roderick. Anything else but that, bro. They were the uncler Nikesha. W Nikesha, bro. Thank you, Nikesha, for the uncler. W Nikesha in the chat. Thank you so much, Nikesha, for the uncler. Thank you. I appreciate it. W.
My fingers shook as I punched it in, one number at a time, while the robber's hand hit the doorknob. The second he pushed it open, the lockdown slammed every door shut, trapping him inside. He spun around,
He's cooked.
wild-eyed,
Dr.
searching for who
Cohen,
did
Gray.
it, but he never once looked behind the counter. The police swarmed in and tackled him as my mom broke free. I ran to her, the lollipop still in my hand, and buried myself in her arms. I was grabbing
W.
a lollipop from the
They were the jamming gift, Panda. They were the hiding gift, Young and Keith. W Panda with the jamming gift. Thank you, Panda.
I pulled into the last disabled
W
parking
Panda.
spot, and a man marched to my window with his
And
arms
hiding gift,
crossed,
Michael.
pointing at the sign, telling me to move because he could barely walk, while I clearly wasn't actually disabled.
Go
I
to
looked
Caden.
back, and my daughter was pale in the back seat. She has severe PTSD, and confrontation
And
makes her
hiding gift,
completely shut
Ezra.
down. I told him the spot was for her, but he leaned down and looked into the back seat,
That's a red
looking her up
fact.
and down and saying she looked fine to him. I heard my daughter's breathing getting faster, so I turned and said, "It's okay, sweetheart," but he started making faces at her, asking if sweetheart was scared
Oh,
because
hell
daddy
nah.
was lying about her invisible disability. I told
Give her
him
the
to
gold
walk
coin,
away,
Ezra.
but he pointed at my daughter's legs and said she had no wheelchair, no crutches, and was just too lazy
That doesn't mean
to walk
okay,
an
bro.
extra 50 feet when people who could barely stand
Crazy
like him
word.
actually needed this space. My daughter tried to speak up between gasps. "I'm not lazy," but he put his hand in her face.
Oh,
I
hell
wasn't
nah.
talking to you. I
You're
wanted
the
to
flood
hit him
car,
and clenched
Ezra.
my fist around the steering wheel, but he noticed. He stepped back and said, "Go ahead, hit me. I've had 4 surgeries on my knees and can't walk. I'll sue you for everything you have."
the hell,
but then
bro?
I looked and saw his knees didn't have any surgical scars. I was about to point it out, but he pulled out his phone and shoved it at my daughter's face.
Nah,
Smile,
bro.
sweetheart. You're about
That's
to be
crazy.
famous for being a fraud. She
Chad, that's actually crazy.
started
That's
crying.
rude.
"Stop, please stop." I couldn't take it and slapped the phone out of his hand. It skidded under a car, but instead of confronting me, he sprinted over and crouched into a squat completely effortlessly.
the
He crawled under
GLHF.
the car, and the only thing visible were his legs sticking out into the lane.
That's
I got out
Andreas.
and wrapped my arms around my daughter. She buried her face in my chest, but then I heard her laugh. She pointed
W.
over my shoulder, and when I turned around, a white SUV was backing into the spot
Oh,
where
hell
his
nah.
legs were sticking out. He turned his head from under the
Okay, now he's gonna actually have to get surgery,
car
bro.
and realized what was happening,
the
but it was too
GLHF.
late. The SUV rolled onto his calf,
Oh.
and I heard a crunch.
Oh. R.I.P. bro.
He
R.I.P. legs in the
screamed,
chat.
and his hands clawed at the pavement.
Ugh.
The driver's face was horrified, and she hit the brakes, and the SUV was now chilling on his leg. Not knowing what to do, the driver reversed back off of his leg.
Oh
I
my
heard
God.
a second crunch. My daughter pointed at him. "You wanted to be disabled? You got it, mister." I
hell
opened
no.
the front door for the 4th time that hour, hoping to see Rosalie pedaling up on the yellow bike she'd saved all summer to buy, ringing the
Guys, feel free to send gifts like laughing discos. Hi, Neymar. Yo, hi, Neymar.
bell twice like she always did, so I'd know she was home.
Guys, if you subscribe, I'll give you a shout out. Say in the chat that you subbed and I got you.
But
And
she's-
like up the stream. How many likes are you at?
Still wasn't there. Rosalie? Nothing. I grabbed my keys and drove down every
Every
street in
100,
the neighborhood
Ellie.
with my window down, but I couldn't find her. Once it got dark, I called the
Shout out to
police
Essa.
and they searched
Shout out
for
to
3
Luke
weeks,
E-Man.
but
Shout
found
out to
nothing.
Jordan.
They knocked on every door on the street. Even
Keep
old
subbing
Mr.
up, chat,
Avery
if you want a
next
shout
door,
out.
who shook his head and said he'd keep an eye out. They closed
Give her
the
a laugh,
case,
let's go,
but I told
Panda.
myself every single day day that I would find out
And Venus, W Panda and Venus in the chat. Thank you guys for the laughing discos. W Panda and Venus.
what happened to her. 7 years
That's
later,
a
I was on my way
little
out to put
Ja.
up more missing person posters when I noticed Mr. Avery's kids were having a garage sale. He had just
Ooh.
passed away, so I walked over to give my condolences and froze.
Rest in peace. They were the laughing disco. ST Good Gamer. WST Good Gamer. And thank you for the controller gift. Nikesia. W Nikesia with the controller gift. And ST Good Gamer with the laughing disco. W Nikesia. Thank you so much, Nikesia. Shout out to Holly. Keep subbing up, chat, if you want shoutouts.
In the middle of the driveway, a bright yellow bike was
That's a
leaning
Dragon
against a
official
folding table
channel.
with a
Thank you for the
$5 price
controller,
tag
though,
on
Nikesia.
the handle. I picked it up, turned it over, and found her initials scratched into the bottom of
Oh.
the seat. The woman behind the
Is
table
that hers?
smiled at me.
They were
You
the hiding
want it?
gift.
I put $5 down on the table and
That's a
carried the
Durian.
bike home without saying a word. I
Durian.
sat in my garage staring
Yeah,
at
shout
it
out
and
to
thought about the
Damien.
man who had lived 30
They were the
feet
W
away from me for
and the hiding
7
gift,
years.
Keith,
Then I
and
picked up
Ezra
the phone
kids.
and called the detective who worked Rosalie's case. I need you to come to my
Oh, they got the bike. They might find out. They were the hiding gift Elijah. They were the gold coin good gamer.
house right now. They searched the property the next morning. I stood on my porch and watched them carry things out of his shed
Shout
one
out
by
to
one,
Natalie.
until one of them stopped, looked inside a box, and went very
Shout out to
still.
Airsoft
The detective
Lover.
crossed the lawn toward me, and I already knew from his face. I could not speak. He put his hand on my shoulder. We found enough evidence. It was him. The man who took my daughter had lived 30 feet away from me for the
Oh, nah. Shout out to Yaya. Oh, shout out to It's Buddy. Okay, chat. Feel free to send any type of gifts. It'll help out. You're the hiding gift, Alan, because I want to save up for a Valve Index. I'm really close to getting enough. So, if you want to help me out, chat, feel free, bro. I want to get like a Valve Index VR headset. You don't have to though.
last 7 years, and even his
That's
own
a red
children
fact.
never knew who he really was, or that they'd sold me the one piece of my daughter I had left. I
W. Thank you for the controller, Venus. And thank you for the jamming gift, Naya Lopez. And thank you for the 6-7 Merce. And thank you for the Uncler Brooklyn. W Brooklyn, Venus, and Naya Lopez. Thank you guys. Helping me out, bro. Thank you. W Brooklyn, Venus, and Naya. Thank you three so much. W Brooklyn, Venus, and Naya. And thank you for the 6-7 Merce. W Brooklyn, Venus, and Naya. Thank you so much, you guys. W's.
I walked into the local high school workshop where the teacher immediately introduced
Thank you. Just a Lego
This
Joe.
is Mr. Lyles. He works at NASA. He's
W.
here to help you with your rocket prototype
Shout out
for
to
your
Dead
live
Underwood.
demonstration in an hour. But when I walked over to the first group,
Thank
the
you,
kid
bro.
packing the powder instantly sneered. Listen, man, I
You're
don't
lying
need some
of
intern who
Jedalin.
fetches coffee telling me what to do. I crossed my arms. Sorry, kid, but the way
Give it
you're
a
jamming
GG
that
easy,
powder in,
Dub
you
Steve
definitely need my help. I pulled over a chair
Give it
and
a clutch,
started widening the
Nikesia.
hole like you're meant to, but the second kid pushed me away.
Oh, hell nah. They were the high five, Alan. They were the clock it, Ezra Vids. They were the W Towel Mom. W Towel Mom. Alan. Thank you, Nikesia. They were the jamming gift, Venus. W Venus with the jamming gift. Thank you, Venus. W Venus. They were the hiding gift, Mudboy and Sunset Flower. W Venus, bro. Thank you, Venus.
Our dad is an actual rocket engineer. He said this is how you do it. I shook my
Thank
head
you,
and
guys.
picked up the rocket casing, but it was thinner than a can of soda. My jaw dropped as I told them I'd watch this
They were the
exact
jamming
setup
gifts.
blow up and
Slippy,
put a kid in the
Trippy.
hospital. They need to thicken it, but the first
W Slippy Trippy with the jamming gift. Thank
kid
you,
laughed
Slippy
in my
Trippy.
face.
W.
This is why you're helping kids instead of building real rockets.
Thank you, bro.
Our dad said that's okay. The second kid snickered. Yeah,
Slippy
did they fire
Trippy.
you? He hugged the rocket to his chest and told me to go help someone else. So I did. Every
We're
other
the hiding
group
gift,
listened
Naya.
to me. During the demonstrations, every group's rocket flew perfectly. But
That
then,
is not a
it was
rocket.
the two kids' turn. I saw the prototype
That is a
and
very
instantly
small
shouted,
rocket.
"Do
You were
not
hiding
like
gift,
that.
Naya.
Your rocket will burst. You could get hurt." But the first kid rolled his eyes and turned to
We're
the
the
teacher. Our
GLHF
expert over
Nikesia.
here is a
They were the
little
happy
scared,
poop,
but
Big
trust us.
Larry.
We did everything just like our dad told us. They flicked their lighter to the powder, but the rocket didn't fly. They leaned in to light it again, and that's when the case split. The powder shot out and covered them both, and a loose piece of metal came flying and caught the first kid in the head. He fell and knocked his brother down to the floor with him. I stared at their broken rocket, then at them, covered in
Give
powder.
her the gold
You do
coin,
know your dad
Nikesia.
works under me, right? If he actually told you to do this, I need to have a talk with him in the morning. I
Oh,
walked
nah.
into the local high school workshop.
W
The kid
story.
next to me
We
squeezed
were
his
6-7
juice pouch
T.O. cheese,
out
bro.
across my lap and started
Bro.
laughing. I'm gonna tell everyone you peed yourself. He slipped out of his seat and drifted toward the door.
We already
felt
watched
my
that.
pants split open from the zipper all the
Wait, what?
I felt my pants split open from the zipper all the way up the
What
back.
the hell,
10
bro?
minutes before my
It's kind of sus. Do the press
class
F.
president's speech to the entire school. I froze.
Did you add me? I'm gonna
I was
have
in the
you.
hallway behind the gym with my back
I
pocket
will, though.
flapping against my leg and half my butt hanging out.
What the hell,
400
bro?
kids were packed in the gym waiting on the candidates, and I'd been practicing this speech for 2 weeks. My friend Grayson stood
Kinda
next to me
sus.
scrolling his phone like nothing was happening. I grabbed his arm and spun around. If I walked out there like this, the election was over, and I'd be the kid who flashed the entire school. Look,
Star
he looked,
hoodie.
then laughed so hard he had to sit down on the floor. Stop laughing and help me. I'm on in 10 minutes. He still had his gym bag from earlier, so we dug through it. He pulled out a roll of athletic
up,
tape
Trix?
and a clean pair
What's
of
up, Damien?
basketball shorts. Put the
You're the
shorts on
star.
under your pants, then tape the rip
You're
shut
the
from
press
the
F
inside.
Roblox
I went into the
master
bathroom
make.
and did exactly that. One layer of tape over another until it held when I
Tape is not fixing that. I'm sorry,
tugged on
bro.
it. I walked back and forth in front of the mirror to test it. You can't tell, right? I asked. You can't tell. Just don't bend over. That's not the part I'm worried about. What do you mean? I have to walk up 4 steps
Shout out
and
to
turn around and
Trix.
face everybody. He went quiet. The tape pulled tight every time I lifted my leg. The
Oh,
principal
nah.
called my name. I went up the 4 steps, slow and stiff,
Bro, that's a lock
keeping
in.
my legs close together so the tape wouldn't
That's a
snap.
glitch
I got behind the
teenagers, bro.
podium and the whole bottom half of me disappeared behind it. Nobody could see anything. I gave my entire speech, every line I'd practiced, and people
That's a
actually
dom.
clapped at the end. Then the principal walked over and shook my hand. Come stand up front for a photo, he said.
Oh, hell nah.
I stepped out from behind the podium with both
He's
hands
cooked.
holding the back of my pants, like I was just resting them there. After the principal took the photo, I turned to head back to my seat and heard the tape snap. My pants dropped to the
Oh, hell nah,
floor,
bro.
and everyone could see Grayson's
Yes, it's buddy, it was.
basketball shorts underneath. The
That's-
gym
that's
erupted in
sus.
laughter. I won the election anyway. I felt
I mean, W, if you won the election, then it's fine, bro.
I never expected to see
You
a
gotta do
video
what
of
you
my
gotta
big
do.
sister doing something so shocking.
You
My
already
vegan
watched that.
daughter told me if I didn't stop cooking bacon, she was moving out.
You already
I
watched
peeled
that.
a lottery ticket off the pavement under my tire and read
With
win
$47.
I couldn't believe my luck because I had only pulled into that gas station to steal napkins from the hot dog counter because I was
This is
too
your-
broke to afford toilet paper. Score!
This is your first time watching stream,
My
W.
celebration startled the man at the air pump so badly he dropped the hose. His eyes moved from the ticket to me. Is that yours? I folded it once. It is now. I started walking inside,
Oh, hell
already
no.
picturing a 12-pack of 2-ply. But the man sprinted past me, shoved the door open, and yelled, "He
That's
stole
a
my
Chris
winning ticket!"
Steele.
The cashier looked up as I came in
That is not his,
behind
bro.
him with the ticket still in my hand. It was under my tire. The man pointed at the black mark across one corner. Because you
What?
parked on it. I slapped the ticket on the counter and kept my palm over it. The cashier looked from him to me. You're fighting over parking lot trash. I looked at the toilet paper shelf behind him. It's not trash. It's my ticket to 2-ply comfort.
That was 2-ply comfort. Shout out to Joel, your boy.
Then I pushed it toward the scanner. The man grabbed the far edge before it reached the machine, and I pulled back because trash or not, that ticket was still
Sure, Joe
the
Modon.
only thing between
Sure.
me and another handful of stolen napkins. The cashier lifted both hands. If you rip the barcode, I can't scan it. The man yanked harder, and for one
That's a
stupid
hero
second,
block,
I
see.
yanked back harder too. The ticket split down the middle, sending us both stumbling backward. He crashed into the candy rack while I knocked over a beef jerky display, and the cashier snatched my half from the floor before I could
We're
even
lighting a Venus.
stand up.
Guys, if you subscribe, say in the chat that you subbed, and I'll give you a shout
Other
out.
piece. The man slid his half onto the counter, and we both leaned in while the cashier lined up the torn barcode under the scanner. The machine beeped once. Not a winner flashed on the screen. The cashier turned the ticket around and tapped the tiny
No glitch teenagers world. What is that, bro?
words under the prize
Shout out to Kelsey. Shout out to Pineapple Pug VR. Chat, 17 more subs. Let's hit 136k, bro.
box. It says win up to $47.
Oh, yeah, Joe Modon. That is not my user. That was my old user.
Did either of you read that part? The man backed away without looking at me. I looked from the toilet paper shelf to the
Naya.
hot dog counter, grabbed the biggest
That's a
fistful of
Austin.
napkins I could carry, and ran. I picked up my fork and looked over both shoulders, then took my first bite of real food after 25 years in prison. My eyes rolled back as I've never
Oh my god. Shout out to Glazed Donut.
tasted anything so good. But then the man in a suit pointed at me like I was his
Shout out to
personal
the Lambie.
entertainment. Why do you eat like an animal? Don't you have manners? He laughed loudly.
How? What?
But I just curled my arm around my plate.
Just a Yuri
25
TV.
years had taught me losing my freedom over a stranger isn't worth it, so I just imagined the omelet
That's a
was
Blue
him as I
Horizon.
jabbed it with my fork. But then he brought his hand to my food. I turned my plate away, and he sneered, "Are you protective of your slop?" But then
That's a J1.
something touched A girl. I
Yo,
picked
oh
up
my god.
my table from behind. Then he brought his hand to my
Okay.
food. I turned my
Shout out
plate
to
away
Jaden.
and he sneered, "Are you protective of your slop?" But then something touched my table from behind. Years of
Imagine it's a ghost.
stabbings
Oh,
during
hell no.
lunch made me spin before I could stop
Shout out to Mango.
myself, and the waitress refilling my water glass jumped back startled. I immediately apologized and helped her wipe, but the man in a suit just slapped his knee. This is why some people don't belong in civilization. They should have kept you
Bro, Joe Modon, that's not my user, bro. It's legend GT_1. That's not even my user. Shout out to iCube. Don't spam though.
in whatever zoo you were in. My hands tightened around my fork, and I ordered a slice of
Shout
chocolate
out to
cake.
Patrick.
25 years since I tasted
That's a
something
Masha.
sweet, and when the first bite hit my tongue, my world stopped. For a second,
That was my old account, Joe Modon. Bro.
I wasn't an ex-con. I was a happy, safe kid, eating my mom's chocolate
Shout out
cake
to
and watching
Masha.
cartoons on Saturday. Tears started flowing before I even realized it, and that's when the man pounded the table with his fist. A grown man blubbering over a dessert. You're pathetic. I wonder what happens if
Bruh.
it's taken from you. He touched my plate, and that's when I snapped and grabbed the
That's
butter
a
knife.
temper.
I jumped in front of a man with a knife with my bare hands and killed him. Do you want to see what happens
Oh, nah.
when I'm the one
Well, bro's gonna get arrested for 25 years again. You
holding
shouldn't
the
do that.
knife? His expression looked like
Thank you guys for 136k W's. I did not even notice that. W.
he'd come
That's a
face to
Masha.
face with death, and he looked at my prison tattoos.
Shout out to
His teeth
Kimberly.
chattered. "I'm sorry," and I realized I smelled something. A dark stain was pooling in his pants. That's what I
Bro poo-pooed.
thought. I put the knife down and went back to
Bro
enjoying
actually pooped
my
his
cake.
pants.
I picked
Shout out to Dark BJ.
a girl I had never seen before sat down across from me in the college cafeteria and slid a $100 bill across the table. "I need you to pretend to be my daddy," I spit out
Hey, yo. I didn't notice either. Yeah, bro. Hey, yo, though. Shout out to King
my
Mitch.
Sprite. "I'm serious." She told me her
We're
name
hiding
was
gift
Mackenzie
Tucker.
and showed me photos of a guy named
Shout out to
John
Luca.
who had been showing up everywhere she went on campus. When she reported him to campus security, they told her he was not breaking any rules.
Shout out to Put Put.
Yesterday, he said he knows my schedule
We're
better
the hiding
than I
gift.
do, and
Ask
it
Spawn.
sounded like a threat, she said, tearing her napkin into pieces. "I need to do something before he goes too far." She tapped the 100. I was 26 with gray hair coming in
Oh, hell nah.
early and wearing a polo shirt and sneakers my own father would have owned. I also thought Mackenzie was really cute, so I picked up the money.
Hey, yo. We're the W
"What
tourist.
do I have to do to be your daddy?" She coached me in the stairwell.
We're
I'd
the
pretend to
hiding gift, Brian Mitch. This is so sus. They were the W Naya. They were the stay hydrated. A spawn. W Aspon with the stay hydrated. Thank you, Aspon. W Aspon in the chat. Sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, but W Aspon, bro. Thank you so much, dude. Shout out to Venus. You're the hiding gift, Chantel. W Aspon. Thank you for the stay hydrated.
to be her
gift.
overprotective ex-military father
there you go.
visiting from out of town. "Call me princess, but say it like you would kill for me."
Such
She
a
made me
crazy
practice my
cupcake
daddy voice
cosplays.
until she approved, and I would have practiced all day if she had asked. We were crossing campus when John came around the corner smiling with his eyes locked
hell
on
nah.
Mackenzie like she was prey. "There you are."
hell
She
nah.
grabbed my arm and I stepped in front of her. "Is this the guy you told me about, princess?" John stopped smiling.
You're the
"Who
hiding
are you?"
gift,
I
Luca.
grabbed his hand and squeezed until he winced.
Star
"The
Elba.
father just flew in this morning. He tried to pull away, but I held on. I've spent some time overseas and met a lot of guys like you. Stay away from my daughter." I let go and watched him walk away, cradling his hand. That evening, I sat in the corner of her
W.
study group. I stepped out to grab a soda from the vending machine and came back to John with his hand around
Oh,
her.
hell nah. They were the Spank Up Rush, big Larry fan. They were the jamming gift, Tucker. W Tucker with the jamming gift. Thank you, Tucker. W Tucker, bro. Thank you.
Wrist. "You think you're so smart
W.
getting
Tucker.
some random guy to..." I threw my drink, crossed the room in 3 steps, and punched him so hard that he fell to the floor and did not get back up. The
Oh,
next
hell
morning,
nah.
Mackenzie sat down at my table. "He is leaving me alone." I smiled.
star,
"Good.
Luca.
So what are we now?" She picked up her bag. "Nothing. It was a business deal." She walked out and never
What? That's a Maisha. That's a
spoke
Washka.
to me again.
Bro actually got friend zoned.
I was sad because she wouldn't call me daddy anymore, but at least I made $100.
Hey, yo.
A girl I was tearing my hair out over my multiple choice homework when my dog tapped his paw on option C. I read it
Oh,
and
hell
saw it.
nah. The dog is in on it. They were the Marshmallow High Aspon. W Aspon with the Marshmallow High. Thank you, bro.
actually looked correct. I'm cooked anyway, so I may as well just take your advice. I started circling every answer Brownie pointed at. When I was done, I shoved it in my book bag, excited to see what grade I was gonna get. In class, my teacher handed my assignment back with 100 circled and written in red. She crouched down and said, "I knew you had it in you." I was grinning ear to ear. I guess you could say I got that dog in me. She shook her head and sighed, because she didn't know I had a magic dog at home. That night,
Shout
I
out to
slid my
Lamine
homework
Yamal.
across the table, and Brownie's paw came down the same way. I hugged him. "Brownie, how are you doing this? Are you a spy?" In response, he walked
Imagine bro's a
over
robot.
to the dog
Beep beep. I am a robot.
treat cabinet and started
Guys, subscribe if you want shout out.
wagging his tail, so I threw him some beef jerky. "You're the best doggy ever." I thought nothing could go wrong. So with every assignment the teacher would give me, I got lazier and started coming home to let Brownie do all the work. My parents even got me a PS5 to reward me for working so hard, and I thought life was perfect. But a few months later, the teacher slammed down
it is, bro.
a quiz on my
That's a
desk with a
two-net.
fat red F. I grabbed the page and frantically read the answers. Every single answer Brownie had given me was wrong.
That's a
When I got
Gunnar.
back home, I shoved
That's
it
a
in
J.
Brownie's face. "Dude, what happened? I thought you had me." He didn't even blink. He dropped a fortune cookie message from his mouth onto my lap, then put his paw on my hand, like he wanted me to read it. I slowly picked it up. "Lean on another, and
Is
you
a dog like a human, bro? Shout out I'm cool 6'7".
never learn
The
to
hell?
stand." He was teaching me not to need him. He failed me on purpose. Now when he trots over and lifts his paw toward an answer, I move it off the page and do it myself. Smartest dog I've ever met. I was tearing.
What?
I left the store carrying a 20-pound case of water, but our house was 3 miles away, and I didn't feel
Oh
like
nah, it might drop,
carrying
bro.
it. So I leaned down to my girlfriend's
Yes,
10-year-old
lock in.
brother and ruffled his hair. "Your sister said you're not strong enough to carry this home.
Shout out to
Want to
Ronaldo.
prove her wrong?" He immediately clenched his jaw.
Bro's not doing that. They were laughing disco emo isto. W emo isto with the laughing disco. What did you miss? Not much. We had 136k though, bro. They were the thumbs up web box. W misto. Emo isto. Thank you, bro.
And snatched the water from my hands. I'll show her. The case immediately fell to the ground, but Gerald picked it up and placed it on his chest, leaning
That's 20 pounds.
slightly back so
20 pounds is insane. They were the gold coin
he wouldn't
savage
fall.
steel.
1 mile in his arms were shaking and sweat fell from his forehead. Mile 2, I heard him breathing heavy, and he dropped the box, doubling over in exhaustion. I felt bad and went to pick it up, but he grabbed my wrist. "I got this. I need to."
Bro's not gonna give up. They were the 6'7", maybe pitbull. They were the laughing disco again emoisto. W emoisto. They were the hiding gift Chris Sauce. W emoisto. Thank you emoisto. W emoisto. Thank you, bro.
Prove her wrong. I need my big
We're the
sister to
laughing
know
disco.
I'm strong enough. Gerald grabbed the case with shaking hands and took an exhausted step forward. We made it home an hour later, and he finally dropped the case and collapsed at the door. His sister walked out, and Gerald smiled weakly. "I did it. I carried it home." She looked at him confused, and that's when I
Oh, nah, bro actually did it. Yo, thank you for the $1, Sarah, and thank you for the laughing disco emoisto. W emoisto and Sarah. W emoisto and Sarah in the chat. Thank you emoisto for the laughing disco, and thank you for the $1, Sarah.
crossed my
W.
arms. "She never said you weren't strong enough, Gerald. I just didn't want to carry
There's
it
a
myself, so I made
Gerona
up a lie
flower.
knowing you'd do it. You're so silly." Gerald's face
Give her
fell,
the hiding
and he
gift.
looked
Crazy
at me
art.
betrayed. I laughed and reached into my pocket. "Here's $2 for your effort," but I didn't feel my wallet. I began panicking and grabbed my head, and
Oh,
that's
nah.
when Gerald smiled from the ground. "Looking for this? I picked it up after you dropped it."
Bro stole it. They were the $1, Alexander, and they were the hiding gift elite golf cards. Thank you. W Alexander with the $1. Thank you, Alexander. They were the 6'7" giant rider. W giant rider. They were flower savage steel.
On the way home, I was going to give it back, but now I think I'll take a cut. He pulled a 50 from my wallet and slipped it in his pocket.
How is a shout out a Deltarune reference? What? They were the high five Tucker. W Tucker. They were the hiding gift elite golf cards. W Tucker.
I should have just carried it home.
Thank you, bro.
I left the store. I accidentally told my crush and the entire class that I liked her during project presentations. I was up first. I grabbed the projector cable, walked to the front of the room, and started plugging it into my Chromebook.
They were
Then
6'7"
Mindy walked
elite
in,
golf
the kind of girl
guards.
that would have you thinking
W.
of flowers and forgetting you were holding a cable. I snapped out of it, pulled up my project, and cleared my throat. After yapping for 15 minutes, I finally made it through. Mr. Milton nodded, and the whole class clapped, except Mindy. She had her head resting on her desk. I walked back to my seat and sat down. Mr. Milton said
They were
we
know
could
how
do
to give
whatever we wanted for
Josephine.
the rest of the class period. As soon as he said that, someone popped a bag of chips open and kicked his feet up onto his desk. I focused back on my Chromebook and opened a new tab. I typed, "I have a crush on a girl named Mindy. How can I tell if she likes me back?" The words went up on the wall in huge black letters. I'd never disconnected from the projector.
Holy.
I slammed the Chromebook.
Thank you for the jamming gift, Elite Golf Cards. W Elite Golf Cards. Thank you for the jamming gift, bro. Thank you for the hiding gift, Gibbet YT. W Elite Golf Cards.
Shut. The words stayed. Derek, who sat 2 seats over, looked up. "You." He cupped his hands. "Yo, everybody look at the screen." I opened the laptop
Oh,
again.
nah.
The screen was frozen on what I typed. I clicked the
Oh, hell nah. Bro actually typed that. He's cooked. They were the Ugler Elite Golf Cards. They were the live. Let's go, Gibbet. And thank you for the $2, Alexander. Thank you, Alexander.
Hi bro, here is another dollar.
Yeah, thank you, Alexander. What's up, bro? Thank you for the 670 Elite Golf Cards. W, Alexander. Gibby with the Laughing Disco. And Elite Golf Cards with the Ungler and the 6-7. And thank you for the 6-7, Nia Lopez. W, Nia Lopez, too. Thank you for the hiding of David. Thank you for the clutch Elite Golf Cards. W, Alexander, Gibbet, and Elite Golf Cards.
X
Thank
on the
you.
tab, and the wall didn't change. I clicked it
Jane.
again. Nothing. The chip bag stopped crinkling. Chairs turned toward me. I dropped down, grabbed the cord with both hands, and pulled. It didn't move. Derek
W.
raised his voice. "Mr. Milton." He
You were the
pointed
hiding
at the
gift.
wall. "Mr. Milton, look at the
And the
board."
star.
The room cracked up around me. Someone
He's
said,
actually
"No way."
cooked.
A chair scraped back. Mr. Milton stood up.
Remember
looked
you?
at the
Yeah.
screen, walked over, and pulled the cable out of the wall. The screen
Thank you guys for the donations and gifts, though.
went blue. He held the cable and said, "Textbooks, page 204. I put my head down, wishing to make it all go away. Then I heard one single quiet
You were the
laugh
party
from
at
behind me. I
Josephine.
turned around and saw Mindy smiling. She saw me looking and winked at me, then went back to her textbook.
Hey, yo.
I accidentally... A woman stepped out of her...
You
My
already
most
watched
down
that.
bad friend Catalan jumped onto the lunch table and shouted, "Say nothing if you want me." The whole
What the hell, bro?
cafeteria went dead silent. He looked down at me, hands on his hips,
Oh,
grinning.
nah.
Hear that? That's the sound of a room that wants me. He hopped off the table and strolled toward his crush
Oh,
like he
hell
owned
nah.
the floor. The second she figured out what was going on, she shot out of her chair and started screaming at the top of her lungs.
What the f?
Catalan closed his eyes and nodded. "That's fine.
That's a
There's
Shanna.
plenty of fish in the sea." He looked around for his next victim, and that's when the entire cafeteria erupted into noise. He started spinning around the room, looking for anyone who was still quiet, and that's when his eyes locked on the back corner. The lunch lady stood at the register in her hairnet, scrolling.
They were the jamming gift, Hugo Garcia. W Hugo Garcia, bro. Thank you, Hugo. W Hugo. But hey, yo, this kind of sus. W Hugo Garcia, bro. Thank you.
Her phone, not making any
With
noise
the
because she didn't
jamming
know what
gift.
was going on. Catalan's grin stretched wide as he pointed at her over everyone's heads. She
This
didn't
is actually
scream.
good.
You
This is not pre-recorded. Just to
know
airy.
what that means. No, there was no way. He started walking, and the whole room turned to watch. The lunch lady looked up, saw a teenager
That's
spreading his arms
sinister.
at her, and screamed louder than the whole cafeteria
Oh,
combined.
hell no.
She stumbled back into the soda machine and jabbed her finger at him. "Gerald, Gerald, we got one!" Catalan put his hand on her shoulder and started stroking. "There's no need to worry, baby girl. Papa's
Oh, what the? What the hell? What the hell, bro?
home. Suddenly, Gerald, the security
nah.
guard, spun Catalan around and walked him to the doors. Gerald marched him towards the cafeteria door, and Catalan contorted his body backwards to point at her, yelling, "I'll wait for you, my love. I know you want me, and someday we will be together again." No one's seen him since.
Bro, a lifeguard? I mean, what? A lunch lady is insane, bro. What the hell? You send me 50 gifted if I say hi, hi, Gabe. What's up, Gabe?
Most down bad. My dog never ate my homework, so I made sure he did. My teacher was standing over my desk waiting for my assignment. I hadn't done it, so I looked up at her and said my dog ate it. I honestly expected her to roll her eyes, give me a 0, and move on. But instead, she crossed her arms. "Okay, then bring me proof tomorrow." Since when do teachers actually expect evidence for that kind of lie? I sat
You
there
were the
for a
100,
second,
Marlene.
then nodded. "Yeah, I'll bring it." I got home and pulled the worksheet out of my backpack, completely blank. I sat down at the kitchen table and filled out
Like up
every
chat,
single
like up
question.
the stream. They were the clutch Hugo
I
Garcia.
held it out to my dog, Brian. He sniffed it and walked away. So I covered the whole thing in peanut butter. He tore into it like he hadn't eaten in days, shredded it, drooled all over it.
Oh,
left
hell
behind
nah.
a soggy, chewed-up mess on the kitchen floor. I scooped up every piece and sealed it in a plastic bag. The next morning, I walked into class and handed my teacher the bag like it was evidence in a courtroom. She opened it and held it up. A piece of slobber slid off
I
and
mean,
landed
yeah.
on her shoe.
This dog
She
actually
put the bag down. She
messed
sighed.
up the
Fine,
homework.
I'll let it slide this time. I turned to walk back to my seat. I could still read the answers through the
Shout out
slobber,
to
by the
Lily.
way. B-. My dog never ate.
B-.
I was watching LeBron highlights when I
Are we
turned to my
serious?
girlfriend and told her I
Remember
wanted
Flower
a baby.
Hugo
She looked
Garcia?
up from her phone. A what?
You
I
already
broke a
watched
world
that.
record and became during my football game. A little kid hopped the barrier and started sprinting onto the pitch, heading direct.
already
I
watched
was
that.
15 when I got my
Oh my
first
God.
job as a gas station cashier to help out
A
my
gas station
single
cashier.
mom. My dad
You're
ran
hiding
away,
it.
so I knew I needed to step up. But on my first day, a man in a mask and firearm stormed
Oh,
in at
nah.
2 a.m. He yelled, "Hand over the money," and I immediately knew I wasn't getting
Hand
paid
it over,
enough for
boy.
this. My hands trembled with fear as I pressed the cash into his palm and pressed the silent alarm under the desk. But then he immediately gave me back everything
You were
except
6'7",
one
Caitlin.
single $50 bill. I was still shaking when he lowered his firearm.
$50?
I'm sorry, but it's my son's 16th birthday in a few days. I haven't seen him since he was a baby, so I want to send the $50 to his mom, and maybe she can pass it on to him. That's why I'm doing this. I felt bad.
You were
so I
6'7", Caitlin.
replied, I'm sure his son would appreciate that. But then the man instantly hung his head. That boy is the only reason I keep trying in this
You're
life.
hiding it,
Maybe
Hugo
one day
Garcia.
I'll find him,
You
and
were
he'll be
6'7"
open
again,
to accepting
Caitlin.
me as his dad. I saw tears form in his eyes, and a strange feeling hit my chest as I thought about how the police were coming. I told him I was 15 just like his son, and didn't have a dad either, and most nights
Yeah.
I still sat on the porch waiting for him to come back. His lips trembled as he nodded and went to leave, but when he turned around, I noticed a few strands of ginger hair sticking out from the bottom of
Oh, nah. Maybe he recognizes him. Chat. Subscribe if you want a shout out. Say I subbed in the chat.
his
Alright,
mask.
guys?
I told myself it couldn't be him, but still called out, "Wait!" The man turned, and I asked him if he has a scar on his knee. "How do you know that?" He replied. I felt
the hiding
tears
if you
forming
know
as I
Luke
asked if
Seals.
his son was named Michael. His mouth flew open and he nodded. I gripped my head. "I'm Michael." The man immediately pulled off his mask, and
That's a Max Loves Games.
that's when police walked in. They cuffed him and started walking him out, and tears fell from his eyes. I knew I couldn't let this happen, and immediately ran over the counter, my heart pounding. I clicked the alarm on accident. I yelled to the officers, "He's not here to rob me." They looked at me, looked at the man, and I pulled a picture
Shout out to Jose. They were the hiding gift, Timmy. There's a lion.
from my wallet. The only picture I had of me and my dad. The man in front of me looked just like the man in the picture. The
Oh,
officers
that's his dad?
took
What?
one look at it, nodded, and left.
That's a
I
Lost
cried,
Ian
staring
official.
at him, and suddenly felt my throat closing. "Dad." His lip quivered as he gripped my shoulder. "Son." We pulled each other
That's
into a hug
Anita.
and sobbed.
Shout
I
out
found
to
my
Amanda.
dad when he tried to rob me. A mother called 911 on me for watching kids at the
That's a
playground,
Joey.
not knowing I controlled her custody fate. The woman cornered me while the other mothers watched, insisting men only showed
were
up
hiding
here
it,
on
Shrimpy the
weekdays when they
Shrimp.
had custody battles to win, completely unaware that I was the psychologist who evaluated parents for those exact battles. The woman pulled her daughter away when my niece tried to play with her. When I explained I was watching my niece, her mouth tightened into a thin line. My ex-husband
That's a biker boy.
used to pretend to care about our daughter too.
Oh, nah.
Suddenly, I remembered her as a woman who had an evaluation appointment with me later that week. She tilted her head. "Are you going through a divorce too? Since you're playing uncle instead of being at work like a normal man. Some of us take time off for
That's a
family,"
Connor
I said
Branch.
quietly, but she scoffed. "Do you have photos of children on your phone, Mr. Uncle?" She ripped my phone out of my pocket. Then she marched over to a group of playing children, her voice carrying as she pointed at me. "If he tries to talk
Shout out
to
to
you, you run to
official
your mom.
Jace.
Understand?" She instructed, and my stomach twisted as my niece's new friends backed away from her. My niece ran to me sobbing, and the woman grabbed her arm and yanked her backward off her feet, knocking the wind out of her. "It's okay, sweetie. Mr. Uncle won't be allowed near you anymore," she said with a
Shout out
fake,
to
gentle
Aiden.
smile. My niece reached
nah.
desperately for me while my legs turned to water, her small fingers clawing at the air between
That's
us
crazy, bro. What?
as the woman dragged
Guys, feel free to send gifts like Laughing Discos if you
her
want.
further away. "Let her go," I said. "You're hurting her." Her face lit up with triumph as she released my niece and rushed at me,
Oh,
shoving me
hell
back
nah.
against the fence, the chain link
Hey,
digging into my spine as she pinned me there with her forearm across my
hey, you got something.
throat. "He tried to lure a little girl
Got
into the
something
bathroom,
going on.
officer," she
What?
said into my phone while I struggled to breathe. "He's
That's a
getting
D
aggressive now.
beans.
Please hurry." The police arrived, and
That's
the
a
officer recognized me
YSPS.
immediately. "Dr. James?" he asked, and the woman's grip loosened as he
Dr.
explained to the
James?
crowd that I wrote recommendations for every custody battle in the district. The color drained from her face. She stumbled backward, grabbing my arm, repeating
They're the
her
hiding
case
in
number while
Brianna.
trying to help bandage my niece's knee, insisting her vigilance today showed she deserved full custody. "I'll see you Thursday," I said, "for your evaluation." A mother
Oh, hell nah.
I hit the center of a whack-a-mole machine.
already
I
hit.
hit the center of a whack. I hit.
Are these two the same videos? What the
I
hell?
hit the.
Oh,
I was
well.
walking to meet my friend when suddenly I stepped on a loose manhole cover and fell straight down into
Oh, We already
I was
watched that.
working as a
What up?
gate agent when security radioed me that they found a checked bag with an explosive in it. The bag was for my flight.
An explosive?
But the bag
What?
tag had torn
You would've
off,
flown
so we
apart.
had no idea whose bag it was. We couldn't board
What's
this flight
that?
before finding out whose bag it was. I grabbed the intercom. Security flagged a bag with a prohibited item. If the owner doesn't come forward in the next 10 minutes, this flight is cancelled. Passengers started putting their hands up, yelling that they had places to be. To add pressure, I pressed the button, and we know exactly what's in it. You know who you are.
Guys, subscribe if you want shout out. Shout out to Lisa.
Man in the front row jumped up. Okay, it's mine. Everyone turned around.
were the hiding
Tears
of
started to
Chris.
fall from his eyes. I smuggled a foreign bird in my bag, but I kept the bag a little open
What
so it
the
wouldn't
hell,
die.
bro?
And 10 pounds of kasumartsu cheese. I gasped because that's all illegal, but that wasn't it. Sir, that's not what we were looking for. Wait! A guy by
That's
the
a Cap Brian.
window stood up, sweating. Don't cancel the flight.
Caprion.
It's me. I'm on the no-fly
That's a
list.
royal
I used my
cuts.
brother's passport. My name's not even Daniel. We were looking for something in a bag, so he was really stupid for confessing. The cheese guy yelled, "Wait, that's worse. Arrest him, not me." They both started fighting. Then a quiet woman walked up to my counter, leaned in, and whispered so no one could hear. I have something to
That's a Xenix.
confess. There's a kid in my checked bag. Rent was due. I did what I had to do. I stared at her. A child?
That's a
Are you
Jace.
insane? She shushed me. I pulled my phone out to call CPS or security, but that's when the doors burst open. TSA, two
That's a
cops,
liar.
and a dog came through, wheeling one black bag straight to my desk. The TSA agent pulled the bag next to the counter. It was the bag with the explosive in it. TSA said, "Whose bag is this?" Silence. Then
Whose
a calm
bag?
man in the back
The bald man, bro. Out of everybody, the bald man.
stood up. "That's mine, sir."
That's
The
AJ.
agent unzipped the bag slowly. A crowd gathered to watch, and the TSA agent held up a rusted shell shaped exactly like a bomb. I froze. A passenger screamed, "We're gonna die!" But the man put
What?
his hands up. "Relax, guys. It's a deactivated World War I artillery shell. I just got back from a battlefield tour. It's inactive and legal." He pulled up
That's
the
a random person.
documentation for it. TSA checked the folder and put a thumbs up, confirming it was safe and a false alarm. I grabbed the intercom. The
That's a
explosive
Masha.
has been cleared. Everyone exhaled, but I wasn't done. However, this flight is cancelled due to illegal cheese.
Oh nah,
A
bro,
stolen
canceled the
identity,
flight.
and a human being in a suitcase. The other two were
What?
put in cuffs and walked out while the cheese guy dropped to his knees and just sobbed, "Please don't touch my cheese."
Hey, yo, what?
A teenage girl pounded on my cabin door at 3 a.m. during a blizzard and said, "I was kidnapped. Please don't let them find me." She was bleeding and shaking, and I instantly noticed the cuts across her wrists. Suddenly, I saw snowmobile headlights out.
What's up, golden watermelon?
And the girl started crying. "That's them." She immediately ran behind me and into the back bedroom, and I gave her a fireplace poker to protect herself in case something goes wrong. As soon as I closed the bedroom door, two women in matching navy coats walked onto my porch. The taller one immediately started
That's a DJ catnip.
checking every window, and the shorter one showed me her phone open to a tracking app, and the dot was pinging right at my location. "Sir, we've been tracking a young girl all night, and the signal led us straight to your front door. Have you seen her?" I told her no, but then she pointed at the snow on my welcome mat. "There are small footprints leading inside. Whatever
Oh,
she told
nah.
you isn't real. I
Maybe. Oh, it's a scam. It's fake. What? Chat, subscribe if you want shout out. Say I subbed in the chat, and feel free to send gifts like laughing discos. It helps support me, and I'm trying to save up for a new VR headset. They were the $2, Alexander. W. Alexander. Thank you, Alexander. W. Alexander in the chat. Shout out to Emily. Thank you for the $2, bro. And thank you for calling the live nice. W.
promise you that. I replied that
Shout
I
out
had let
to
my dog
Al
out
Liam.
earlier. But that's when the taller woman
Bailey.
walked past me
River
toward the
Clutch
kitchen
Melted
and stopped
Moons.
at the hallway. "Sir, we need to check the rest of your cabin." I stepped
a
in front
cat's
of her and
floss.
said absolutely not, but my
What's
voice
up?
cracked, and I could tell she heard it. Suddenly, I smelled gasoline drifting from the bedroom where the teenage
Oh,
girl
nah.
was. I tried to think quickly and told her my generator must be leaking, but then I
We're
saw
hiding
orange
it.
light flickering under the bedroom door. Before I could do anything else, the taller woman pushed past me and threw open the bedroom door. The teenage girl was
Think we're
still
to
there,
start.
but now she was standing in the middle of the spreading fire with a lighter in her hand.
That's
The
a my
headboard was
show.
burning and flames were climbing
Keep
the
subbing up,
curtains.
chat.
She turned around and her eyes locked onto me and she screamed, "I know you called them to take
Oh,
me
nah.
back. I'd
You were
rather
6'7",
die than
Miss
go."
Curly.
I froze because I didn't understand.
My VR broke. No, I just want to get a new VR headset because my headset, I don't really, it's kind of annoying to play with because I have to use a link cable.
stand, but the girl was already lunging toward me and swinging the poker directly at my head. I closed my eyes and braced
That's a Dyer Curry.
for impact, but then suddenly, the taller woman tackled her into the burning rug and then dragged the girl
Oh,
outside
hell
through
nah.
the smoke. I asked what was going on, and the
You're a
shorter
star,
woman pulled out
Maya.
an ID from her coat, where it said she was a psychiatric nurse from a nearby facility. I looked at the flames and realized I almost burned alive protecting a
Thank you for
stranger
the
from
6
the only
minutes,
people
girly.
trying to help
Shout out
her.
to Jessica.
A teenage girl. I finally worked up the courage to pass my crush the note, but my teacher snatched it from my hands.
not
You know
Shaq.
the punishment for passing notes. He opened it and started reading aloud. I really like you, Tracy. Will you go to the dance with me? I felt
Oh, hell no. What?
my face go red as the whole class laughed, but the teacher had this strange, smug grin. Aw, you like Tracy, do you? Well then, you
What?
should go
Oh,
talk
what
to
the
her.
hell?
He moved my chair next to hers, and when I sat down, Tracy angled
That's
her
a
whole
Maddox.
body away from
They
me.
were the dollar the goat gamer. W the goat
Chair
gamer.
closer, forcing her
Thank
shoulder
you,
to
the
touch
Goat
mine.
Gamer.
She was clearly uncomfortable by what he was doing, but he didn't care, and even physically forced us to hold
Oh,
hands,
hell
despite
nah.
Tracy saying no. She looked
Hey, yo,
disgusted by
Sonny.
me, and the whole class mocked us, but he only laughed harder. Every day after that, for some reason, he embarrassed us more. He
Kind of strange, bro. They were the $2, Nicole. W Nicole with the $2. W Nicole. Thank you, Nicole Petty. W Nicole, bro, with the 2. Thank you so much.
constantly asked if we
I would have just limed out the teacher. So I would have done that too, bro.
kissed yet, and passed our
Honestly.
love notes, which he'd written himself around the whole school. Tracy begged
Would've
him to
been
stop
hard,
because she
George.
was losing friends and getting bullied, but he'd just smile and continue. One day, I walked to his class to talk to him, but he wasn't there. I looked down and saw divorce
He's
papers
freaky,
open
exactly,
in his drawer.
bro.
I wasn't going to look, but the woman's name caught my eye. I glanced down and realized he had been married to Tracy's mother. She was leaving him.
What the-
My jaw dropped, and I realized
The hell, bro? They were the hiding gift, Dorian. Bro still hasn't come on the vid. I'm gonna, bro. Trust. Trust.
that's why he enjoyed making Tracy
Each clap equals donation. No hands allowed. What? Yo, that's actually sus, bro. How much is the new VR headset? I'm trying to save up for. It's gonna be like $800, bro. They were the hiding gift, Dorian.
suffer. He was taking his anger out
It's gonna be a lot, bro. I don't know if I could
on this
do it.
innocent girl, and I was just his tool to do it. And then I saw something else in the drawer, a letter in his handwriting. I got the perfect idea. Everyone came in after lunch, and I stood up and walked to the front. Proposing to Tracy, the teacher
They
joked.
were the hiding
The whole
gift,
class
George and
laughed,
Dorian.
and Tracy looked embarrassed. But I just laughed back and took out his letter. I cleared my throat. I'm so sorry for
Shout out to
cheating. I'll
Pug.
crawl on my hands and knees for you to forgive me. The teacher's face instantly twisted as he realized what I was doing, and he lunged for me. But I ran to the other side of the room. I'll give you all my money, all of it. Please just stay. These
Bro's reading the divorce
Mr.
papers.
Ben's words,
Oh, hell
everyone.
no.
I looked up and saw everybody laughing at him. Someone even had their phone out.
crazy,
he was
bro.
humiliated and ran out, his legs shaking so hard he tripped and
Bro tripped. Ah, hell no. We had 1K likes. W 1K likes, chat. Thank you. W's. I did not even realize that. W's.
fell. Even Tracy was in hysterics, and after class she came up to me.
For the
That was so
100.
funny. I'll go to the dance with you just for that.
What the hell?
I walked into my high school reunion, and the first person I saw was the guy who used to make me eat pencil shavings in 8th grade, now in a cheap suit holding a warm beer. Pencil boy.
For the jamming gift, Rye Smooth. W Rye Smooth for the jamming gift. Thank you, Rye. W Rye Smooth.
He
Thank you,
yelled
bro.
across the room,
W.
loud enough to turn heads. His name was
You were the
Brandon,
star, not
and in 8th
Harrison.
grade, he'd hold a number 2 pencil over my lunch tray and shave the wood off it with a box cutter
Ew, brother.
until the shavings buried
That's a
my
Jackson.
sandwich. Eat it, he'd say, and
It's
the whole
disgusting.
cafeteria would chant it until I did. Now he was waving me over like we were
Ew, brother. Ew. You better stream Gorilla Tag on Friday. It's dead, bro. I'm gonna do an IRL stream though on like Friday though. They were the hiding of best TNGT kid. On Friday, I might do an IRL stream.
old friends. I went because I didn't want to make a scene, and he threw his arm around my shoulder and pulled me into a circle of 3 guys from the old crew. Look who showed up, Brandon said, and his hand
Shout out to Kate.
clamped down on my shoulder.
You were
So what are
the hiding gift,
you
Alex.
doing with yourself these days? I told him I worked in software. That's cute, man. That's cute. The
Hey, yo.
squeeze turned into a shake, like he was rattling a kid. My face
for
went
the
hot,
100.
and I stepped back out from under his arm, but he closed the space again. You still live with your mom? home? I told him I had my own place in Austin. He didn't like that, so he turned to his crew and got louder. What do you even drive? I told him a Porsche, and the guy next to him snorted beer out his nose.
Hell nah.
What is it, a
Give him
matchbox?
100.
Brandon
They were
said,
the star.
and the whole circle cracked up. I let them laugh. When they were done, I told them I had to grab something from my car. Brandon and all 3 of his friends followed me out into the parking lot, still cracking matchbox jokes the whole way.
Bro,
I
what?
clicked the key fob, and
What the hell is
lights
a
on
matchbox, chat?
black 911 Turbo flashed twice. Brandon stopped walking. Dude, one of his friends said.
That's a
"Really
Carlos.
fast."
Thank you for the $2,
Hey, why
the
not?
Goat Gamer. W the Goat Gamer. Thank you, bro. Yo, why not? Oh, thank you for the 2, bro. W the Goat Gamer. I appreciate it, bro. They were the floating heart, Alex. The 2 floating hearts. W Alex. And W the Goat Gamer. Thank you, the Goat Gamer. You're actually goated. Thank you, bro.
I opened the door, reached
W.
into the center console, and
W the Goat
pulled
Gamer.
out a yellow number 2 pencil. I walked back over to Brandon and held it out. You dropped this in 8th grade, I said.
You were a
I
star,
kept it. He
Marley?
took it without looking at me, and his
You're a
friends
floating
weren't
heart,
laughing
Alex?
anymore. I got in my car and drove off while he stood there holding it. I walked in.
Fuck.
My phone buzzed at 2 a.m., but when I answered, I heard my wife say,
That's a
"Please
things off fire.
come pick me
of
up.
fire.
My car won't start, and some guy just tried to rob me." She was terrified, and I immediately said,
Sure, Crimson.
"Coming, babe." I ran out the door, driving
nah.
to the hospital she worked at. I
That's
pulled into the
Angela.
parking lot, but I didn't see her car
What is that
or
car?
anywhere.
What is that car, bro? What the hell is that car, Chad? That's like, that looks like a car from the 1900s. They were the GOAT trophy. Cali. They were the hiding gift Wakanda. They were the star Caden. W Cali with the GOAT trophy. My God. W Cali. Thank you so much for the GOAT trophy, Cali. W Cali, bro. Thank you for the 100. W Cali with the GOAT trophy, and thank you for the 6-7 Isaac. Bro, Cali, you just sent a $10 gift. W Cali in the chat. Shout out to Cali. Thank you so much. Holy. Should you donate $500 if you want to? But that would be insane, bro. Thank you for the Let Him Cook, Caden. W
I
Caden.
reached for my phone,
And, Cali. Thank you both. W Caden and Cali. Thank you.
but when I felt my pocket, it wasn't
W.
there. I forgot it on the bed. The only other
Thank
person
you.
in the parking lot was a young girl in her car, and I started
W,
to
Callie,
get
and
worried.
Caden.
Oh my God, did she get
We're hiding
kidnapped?
of Sophie.
I ran over to the girl. "Excuse me, did you see my wife? She said she was in danger." The girl looked scared. Oh my God, someone just
W Cali and Caden.
tried to rob me too. My boyfriend's
They were the
supposed to be
Flower Crimson. They were the W Riley. They were the $2. The Goat Gamer. W the Goat
Nah.
Gamer. Bro sent another 2. W the Goat Gamer. Did the plaque arrive yet? Yeah, it did. W the Goat Gamer. Thank you, bro. You were the hiding it for us. Smooth.
be here any minute. I started freaking out. I ran into the hospital and saw her coworker.
W the
My
Goat
wife
Gamer.
just got
You're the
kidnapped
gold
out
coin
there.
Riley.
Please, we have to call the police. They just looked at me weird. What are you doing? Call them.
W.
Your wife isn't working tonight. Are you sure it was her?
Shout out to
I stood
Susan.
there confused. I used their phone to call her, and when she picked up, she was screaming.
I
knew
am
you were
broke
cheating
Oh,
lol.
nah.
on me.
What? They were the hiding gift Crimson. And thank you for the $10. Yo, Daxton. You're broke? Bro, yo, I don't know what to say. Thank you, bro. W Daxton, and thank you for the flow stay, Caden. W Daxton with the $10. Thank you so much, Daxton. And thank you for the flow stay, Caden. W Daxton, bro. Thank you for the $10. You're the GOAT, bro. And W Caden with the flow stay. W Daxton and Caden. Thank
so-
you, Daxton, for the $10. And Caden.
Confused, but then it hit me. I went back outside to
W.
the girl. I asked to see her phone, and when I checked, I saw she accidentally dialed my number. We were both in shock, and I rushed home. My wife was
We're gonna
crying,
press F
and I begged
Wakanda.
her to believe me. She heard me say,
Thank you.
"Coming, babe," before I left,
W.
and
Dax-
was beside me the whole time. She started calling divorce lawyers, threatening to leave me, but then suddenly came home smiling,
670,
saying sorry for not believing me. Because while she was at work, someone said, "Did you hear about that girl who accidentally called someone's
floating
husband
heart,
to pick her
Alina.
up, and that idiot actually showed up?" My phone buzzed at My dad called me a complete failure because I grabbed the wrong size
We're
wrench.
hiding
We
it,
were in the
Feaston.
garage working on his Mustang when he yanked it out of my hand. That's a 9/16, not a half inch. Even your 12-year-old
You're
sister
hiding
knows
it,
the
Feaston.
difference. I told him he didn't need to yell, and he slammed the wrench on the workbench so
Where's
hard every tool
Sparkles,
jumped.
Dad?
That's your problem. Soft. Always on those damn computers instead of learning to be a real man. You're
Damn.
an embarrassment. I tried
Damn.
to show him my honors program letter, but he waved me off. That's not
Damn.
real work. That's sitting on your butt pushing buttons. I walked out without a word and nearly ran into
Damn.
Mr. Garcia next door.
Crazy. They were to 6-7 Isaac. Yo, thank you for the jamming gift, Tell. W Tell with the jamming gift. Thank you, Tell. W Tell. They were the W Wakanda. They were the hiding gift, Erica. W Tell, bro. Thank you.
Struggling with a box on his driveway. Hey
Thank
there,
you.
son. Perfect timing. I got this new security system and the instructions might as well be in ancient Greek. Inside his garage,
hiding
he
it
looked at my
to
face and
Avia.
stopped. You okay, son?
We're hiding
My
it
dad
today.
hates me. Nothing I do is ever good enough. He put his hand on my shoulder. Parents don't always see what they have. Doesn't
They
mean
were
you're not
6'7"
valuable.
Tell
I
and
nodded
Erica.
and got to work on the cameras. Within 40 minutes, I had 8 cameras, motion
Damn.
sensors, and custom notifications all running on his phone. He tested the night
W. They were the Laughing Disco Lostian official. W Lostian with the Laughing Disco. Thank you, Lostian. W Lostian in the chat, bro. Thank you, Lostian. You're the GOAT, bro.
vision
W.
and shook his
Losty.
head. The guide said 2 professionals need 3 hours, and you did it by yourself. My dad's voice boomed across both driveways. Where the hell did you go?
Here is
Oh,
$5.
nah. The dad is angry. They were the $5. Alexander. W Alexander with a $5 donation. Thank you. Here's $5. Thank you, bro. W Alexander. Bowman. Thank you, bro. They were the 6-7 Zaid. They were the W's a day. They were the gold coin Erica. W Alexander, though. Thank you, Alexander. W, bro. Thank you so much for the 5. They were the flower Olena.
The oil pan.
Elena.
We walked
Thank
outside,
you.
and my dad stood between our properties with his arms crossed. Your son
What a
just
5,
installed my
Alexander.
entire security system, Mr. Garcia said. My dad's jaw tightened.
We're
He should have
hiding
been
it,
helping me.
Felicity.
We were in the middle of something important. Important? Mr. Garcia shook his head. Tom, I've listened to you work on that Mustang for 3
Not the Eliab.
years. It's a beautiful hobby, but your son just showed me skills companies pay 6 figures for.
You were the
He put
hiding
his
it,
hand on my
Arnold.
shoulder. I wish I had a son like you. My wife and I never got that chance. Don't fill his head with
W.
nonsense, Garcia. Real work is with your hands.
Bro, what?
Mr. Garcia's
the
voice
chili
went
crimson.
flat. I run a construction company. I know what real work is.
sorry,
Your
Erica.
son has a gift, and he just got a full scholarship you don't even know about. My
You're the
dad's
GG
mouth
Easy. Give it.
opened. A scholarship? Why didn't you tell me? I looked him right in the eyes. Because you called it sitting on my butt every time I tried. My sisters came running outside. Mr. Garcia, can we come reorganize your garage again? They clustered around us on the neighbor's driveway.
hell
My
no.
dad turned and walked back to his garage alone. My dad
They were the hiding it, Arnold. They were the 6-7 Cat Nappington. W Cat Nappington.
called me a complete At 2 in the morning, my phone rang, and my daughter's voice came
2 in the morning?
through, tiny and terrified. Daddy,
They're
Mommy's
hiding
gone,
it,
and I'm
Arnold.
hungry, and I don't know what to do. I'd moved 6 hours away after things fell apart with her mom, but I was already grabbing my keys. What do you mean, sweetheart? The line went dead before
Should
she
he
could
spend $500? I don't know, bro. That would be insane. I've never gotten a $500 donation, but you don't have to send it. That would be insane, though, bro.
answer. I called back and it
Holy.
went straight to voicemail, so I tried my ex, but she didn't pick up. I'd been sending money for
Give
my
her the
girl
gold
every
coin,
month,
Jamal.
and my mom, who lived 10 minutes from her, always swore she was thriving. I tried her next and got the same silence. I thought about calling the police, but a year of those promises had me sure I'd just find her scared and alone. So I did 90 on the highway for 6 hours, telling myself my own mother would never lie to me about my own kid. I burst through my ex's unlocked front door, and the smell hit me first. Then I found my daughter in a storage closet on a bare mattress, covered in filth, her face so thin I could see her skull. You came, she whispered. I picked her up,
You came.
and she weighed nothing. I cleaned her up with my shirt and bottled water from my truck because the tub was full
Where the
of black
sparkles,
mold.
Erica?
Then I drove straight to the hospital with her limp in my arms. The doctor hooked her up to IVs and came out looking
What
grim.
the hell's IVs?
Your daughter is severely malnourished. We have
Give
to
her the
call the
sparkles, Erica. Sure, Lostian, if you want, bro. Give her the gold coin, Cat Nappington. That would be insane.
authorities. A cop showed up, and when my ex walked in hours later with a lawyer, she was already screaming. He abandoned us and paid me to keep her away. I have bank records, thousands of dollars, and now he breaks in and tries to steal her. The cop's face hardened
Give
toward
her the
me,
hiding
and I
gift,
had
Jonathan.
no way to explain the money fast enough. That's when my mom rushed through the door, already
nah.
crying. She'd finally answered my calls, and she couldn't carry
That's
the
the
lie
J
one more
neighbors.
day. She stepped in front of the cop. I'm sorry, but I watched that little girl starve. Her mom spent every dollar he sent partying, and she paid me to keep telling him everything was fine. I won't let her put this on him. The cop turned to her. You witnessed the neglect? I'll testify to all of it. My ex started screaming.
Oh, hell
Have to
no.
leave the live.
Thank you for the $2, Alexander. Well, bro, thank you for being here. It was fun. It was cool to have you here, bro. W. Alexander. With that 2, bro. Alright, see ya, bro. Thank you for the $2. W. Alexander in the chat. Thank you, though, so much, bro. W. Thank you. Thank you for the Uncler, Jamal. W Jamal 2 with the Uncler. Thank you for the Uncler gift, Jamal. W Jamal Guff 4. W Jamal and Alexander. Thank you both. W's.
But the cop was already reaching for his cuffs. I got full custody and never spoke to my mom again. At 2 in the morning, my phone... I was on a field trip with my class in the wilderness when I tripped on a rock and my phone fell out. My dad placed the tripod in front of me for the 4th time today and dropped a brown box on the table. We're doing a toy opening for...
Who the hell is this guy? They were the press of Jonathan.
The channel. Now get your goddamn intro right. He pressed record and I raised my hands in the air and did my intro. But
yo, this is like Ryan's world, bro. They were hiding a tell. They were laughing. Let's go Ghazi H. W Ghazi H. They were the press F Alina. They were hiding if tell. They were hiding if Wesley. W Ghazi H with the laughing disco though. Thank you, Ghazi. W Ghazi, bro.
But he instantly snapped his fingers. Stop. Not enough energy. Drink this and try again. He handed me an energy drink, and I stared at it with my heart pounding because I'd never drank one before. But his foot kept tapping impatiently, and I was so scared of him, I just downed it in one go.
Damn. Thank you for the jamming gift, Wesley. W Wesley, and thank you for the live disco, Jamal. W Wesley and Jamal, thank you both. W Jamal and Wesley, holy. They were the clutch Boba Fries. W Jamal and Wesley in the chat, thank you both for the laughing disco and jamming gift. I appreciate it. They were the GG. Sienna, and thank you for the clutch, Candace.
My fingers instantly started buzzing, and I ripped the box open, but he snapped again. You're opening it way too fast, you stupid kid. He shoved me aside, and I hit the floor. I clutched my foot in pain, but he just taped the box shut again, then yanked.
This is like Ryan's world, bro. They were laughing disco Carter. They were 6'7" Jonathan. W Carter with the laughing disco, and thank you, Jonathan, for the 6'7". W Carter, bro. Thank you, Carter. And thank you for the laughing disco, Ice Rage. W Ice Rage with the laughing. Let's go. Thank you for the GG Ghazi. W Ice Rage, bro. Thank you.
Me up. I need
and
these
W
views
Carter.
On the channel. Do you hear me? He got behind the camera and hit record, but my voice came out in a stutter because I was so scared. He took off his glasses and threw the camera down. Why do I even pay for voice acting lessons? He slammed his hands on the table and got in my face while I trembled.
Oh, hell nah. We're flower smash, Marin.
I quit my job to...
This is the type of guy I see in my dreams when I'm farting, bro. They were 6'7" Wesley.
do this with you full time. You're the only reason I pay rent, so unless you want to be on the street, you're gonna smile and open that box of Pokemon. He reached out his hands and pushed the corners of my mouth up with his fingers into a smile. My legs were shaking, but I wiped my tears and put on a happy voice. I opened the box just like he wanted, and 15 minutes later he stopped recording. Perfect. See how much nicer I am when you do it right? He grabbed the camera and walked out. I peered around the corner to make
Ryan's World, bro. Thank you for the jamming gift, Aza. Aza with the jamming gift. Thank you, Aza. Aza. Say Lamine Mal for it. Lamine Mal. Aza with the jamming gift, though. Thank you, Aza. Aza.
Sure he was gone, then turned and grabbed my phone off the shelf. I'd been recording everything because I wanted to show my viewers the real behind the scenes. I logged into the channel and uploaded my video. I walked into the kitchen. My chest.
Let me see that.
I logged into the channel and uploaded my video. I walked into the kitchen, my chest still tingling from the energy drink, and his phone was buzzing so hard it fell off the table. He grinned. We're going viral. But when he picked up his phone...
Watch, bro. See the video? They were live in Disco, Ice Rage, and Carter C. Carter C and Ice Rage. Thank you both. Ice Rage and Carter C. Thank you both so much for the laughing discos. Can you say we love you, Tekka, for at it, please? We love you, Tekka.
And pressed play. His face went gray. He watched himself yelling at me, then leaped out of his chair towards me. I ran to the
Carter
door and opened it because police were already here. He would never make me post again. My dad placed the tripod.
We're the gold coin, Jamal.
I turned my sandcastle into a weapon of mass destruction. I pressed the last bit of sand into it and completed my recreation.
Oh my gosh, nah. Imagine trying to build something that's like 20 feet tall. That would be insane, like a whole castle. You were the gold coin Maverick. Like a Disney castle, bro. Like, that would be the dream. Just a kitty pinkies.
Of the Colosseum. I had osteoporosis.
Why do you sound like a kid? I don't know. I'm 60. I don't know why. It's weird. They were the 6'7" Ice Age. They were the live. Let's go, Ghazi. Ghazi, bro. Thank you for the live. Let's go, Ghazi. Ghazi, bro. You're the go, Ghazi. W Ghazi, and thank you for the 6-7 Ice Rage. 6-7. Give me the hiding gift, Carlet.
Meaning I had to work twice as hard to build something half as good as the other kids. I placed my hands on my knees and pushed myself up, and tears
They were the
rolled down
floating
my
heart
eyes
Daf.
as I admired my hard work. But then my school bully came
We're the hiding
sprinting.
gift,
His
Frank,
eyes
the
were
battle
locked onto my
droid.
coliseum, and he wound up his leg.
Oh,
he kicked
nah.
the center of it, and I watched the sand break, and Brad immediately started
Bro,
jumping
what?
to flatten the rest.
Bro, actually just...
I tried to stop him, but he shoved me hard, and I
Julie
fell
Kelly.
shoulder first into the sand. My bones instantly bruised, and I winced in pain as Brad ruined the whole sandcastle. Then he
Bruh.
stood over me and laughed. Your bones are more brittle than your castle.
Who the hell is this guy, bro? This guy's not tough. They were the jamming gift, Carter C. W Carter C.
I can stay now and I'm being sneaky.
Yo! They were the $2, Alexander. You're being sneaky, bro? Oh. W Carter C and Alexander with the $2. And they were the live disco. Exo Ruli and Icer Age. W Icer Age and Exo Ruli. And Alexander and Carter C. Thank you for so much. W's. They were the gold coin, Jamal. Thank you all so much. W's, bro. Thank you. The star, Jerry.
Now stay down, or I'll
W's.
break them next.
W. Okay, wait. W Icer Age, Exo Ruli, Alexander, and Carter C. Thank you all.
He walked off while I sobbed with sand covering
were the
my
loud-
mouth
let's
and
go,
nostrils.
Ghazi.
My body was so weak
W
I could barely
Ghazi,
get
bro.
up, but I was also so
Thank you,
angry I
Ghazi.
cried. I marched towards the rocks and grabbed the biggest one. My arms struggled and everything hurt, but I carried the rock back. I dropped it and
Oh,
collapsed, thinking I would die. But then I saw Brad
What is bro
destroy another
trying to
kid's
do?
sand
They were the live disco Exo Ruli. They were the gold coin Icer Age. W Exo Ruli with the live disco. Thank you, Exo Ruli. W.
castle and got back up. I
We're
grabbed
gold
another
coin
rock,
Carter.
then another. Soon I had a pile. I was exhausted and my arms were raw, but I began pressing
bro
another
gonna throw it at
sandcastle
him?
around my rocks. The hot sand burned my blistered hands, but I kept going. When all the rocks were covered, I pushed myself up to admire my work. I stood exhausted as Brad came running again. He grinned and wound up
Oh,
his
nah.
leg.
He's getting ready. They were the live disco Exo Ruli. They were the jamming gift Dakota. They were 6-7 Jerry. WXO Ruli and Dakota again. Thank you both. WXO Ruli once again and Dakota. And thank you, Jerry, for the 6-7. W, all of them in the chat. And thank you for the stay hydrated, Dakota. W Dakota. Thank you for the live disco XO Ruli. WXO Ruli and Dakota. Thank you both. W's. They were the W Jerry. W Dakota and XO Ruli. WXO Ruli and Dakota. They were the Flower the Awesome Trio. They were the WI
Launching
Surage.
it full
Thank you.
force into my sandcastle. A loud
W
crack
Dakota.
echoed through the whole beach.
And
He
XO
collapsed
Ruli.
to the ground, his foot flopping around like the bones had been disconnected. Tears instantly
Oh my
started
God.
flowing from his face as he screamed, "My
They were the
leg,
Flower the
my
Awesome
leg."
Trio.
I slowly knelt down beside him and leaned in his ear. Turns out, it's your bones that are more brittle than my castle.
Hell no.
I turned my sandcastle into a... I found 2 pregnancy tests in the bath. My girlfriend's son charged at me until a mother called 911 on me for
You were the
watching
gold
kids
coin
at the
I
playground,
surage.
not knowing I controlled her custody fate. I should have left the moment the blonde woman asked if I was going through a divorce. But my 5-year-old niece was having too much fun on the swings. She
Yippee.
cornered me while the other
They were the 6-7 Kane Shia. They were the Gold Coin
mothers
Gen.
watched, insisting men only showed up here on weekdays when they had custody battles to win, completely unaware that I was the psychologist who evaluated parents for those exact battles. She started with whispers to the other mothers.
Oh nah, bro's lying. Thank you for the hiding if your local art block. Thank you for the 6-7 Kane Shia. Thank you for the MVP, Jerry. Jerry with the MVP. Thank you, Jerry. Jerry, bro. Thank you so much, Jerry. Thank you for the gold coin, Jen. Jerry with the MVP. Thank you so much for the press F, Icer Age. Jerry, bro. Thank you.
Pulled her daughter away when
You're
my
the
niece
gold
tried
coin
to play with
Jen
her,
and
then approached
XO
to
Ruli
ask
with
which
the
family
W.
I worked for, since there was never a man here on weekday afternoons. When I explained I was watching my niece, her mouth
the gold
tightened,
coin
something
Jen.
familiar about her stance. She told me how her ex-husband used to pretend to care about their daughter too, how he'd show up at playgrounds with the same practiced smile I was wearing. That's when I placed her. From the stack of evaluations on my desk, her Thursday appointment circled in red on my calendar. Some of us take
We're the
time off
clutch
for family,
Carlet.
I said quietly. She scoffed and turned to the other mothers, announced that divorced fathers always had excuses for why they were lurking around children. She called
Oh,
over
nah.
a father in an expensive suit on his lunch break, grabbed my elbow to position me beside him, pointed at his pressed shirt, then at my faded one, flicked my sleeve with disgust while explaining that real fathers could afford
We're
to
hiding
dress
a
properly.
funky
The other
punky.
mothers murmured agreement. Her confidence grew with every nod. She stepped closer, close enough that I could smell her coffee breath, loudly
hell
asked if
no.
I had photos of children on my phone.
What the hell?
Suggested that's what men like me
That's
did.
Callie.
The mothers gasped. I recognized this
What's
spiral
up,
from her
Taco?
case file. The same paranoid accusations she'd made about her ex-husband. She marched over to a group of playing children, told them to stay away from the scary man by the swings. If he tries to talk to you, run to your mommies. My niece's new friends backed away from her like she was contagious. She circled me, taking photos from every angle, narrating to the other mothers that predator alert groups needed clear documentation. When my niece ran to me
sparkles.
sobbing because the other children wouldn't play with her, the blonde grabbed her arm and yanked her
Oh,
backward off
nah.
her feet.
What the hell?
My niece's small body hit the
crazy.
rubber playground surface hard enough to knock the
You do
wind
not
out of
do
her.
that,
Your
bro.
mommy
What?
asked me to take you to a safer person, sweetie. Your uncle won't be allowed near you anymore. My niece's terrified
nah.
screams felt like physical blows. She fought against this stranger's grip, reaching desperately for me, small fingers clawing at
sparkles.
the air. I forced myself to stay
Jen.
calm. Any movement would be twisted into aggression. But when she started toward the playground exit with my screaming niece, I had to
Oh,
act.
nah.
Let
Can
her
I
go.
play
You're hurting her.
gtag
Her
with
face
you?
lit up with triumph. She released my niece and rushed at me, shoved me back against the fence,
Oh.
pinned me there
Oh,
with her
nah.
forearm across my throat.
Didn't we already watch this? We watched like one, like the same. They were the $2 Xander. Store Xander. I play Gorilla Tag sometimes. If you want to get in codes with me in Gorilla Tag, you got to join my Discord server. It's in my channel links. Alright, so I'm trying to tell to the whole chat. If you want to play Gorilla Tag with me or just talk to me, talk with my fans, join my Discord server. It's in my channel links. W Xander, though, with the $2. Give her the gold coin, Nick.
He tried to lure a little girl into the bathroom, she said into her phone.
Oh, what?
No, officer. He's getting aggressive now. Please hurry. The police arrived. The younger officer's expression shifted when he recognized me. Dr. James, what are you doing here? Her grip loosened as he explained to the crowd that
Oh my
I was
God,
the family court's chief custody evaluator.
Somebody, bro, this is the same video, but like different. They were the jamming gift. Luck and plays. W Luck and plays with the jamming gift. Thank you, Luck and plays. W Luck and plays, bro. Thank you so much for the jamming
The
gift.
person who wrote recommendations for every contested divorce in the district. I watched the color drain from her face. She stumbled backward, grabbing my arm, stammering about misunderstandings, how being protective proved she was a good mother, exactly what I looked for in evaluations. She kept repeating her case number while trying to help bandage
Oh,
my
nah.
niece's knee with shaking hands, insisting her vigilance today showed she deserved full custody. The same desperate bargaining I'd heard dozens of times. I'll see you Thursday, I said, buckling my niece into her car seat while she stood
You're
frozen.
flying
For
car
your
accident.
evaluation. A mother...
They were the jamming gift, Jack.
What
And thank you for the
codes do you
$2, Alexander. What codes do I use? It's pretty random. I don't really know, to be honest. Sometimes I join code Legend, you know. W Alexander with the $2 though, bro. Thank you, Alexander. And W Jack with the jamming gift too. W Jack and Alexander. Thank you both. W's with the gifts and donations. Thank you both. W. Can you make a live event on September 16th because that's your birthday? Yeah, I go live every day, definitely.
My grandma was 79 and had never held a video game controller in her life, but she was the reason I finally beat Portal 2. It started when her knees got bad, and the doctor told her to quit climbing the stairs to my room.
Guys, subscribe
She used
if you
to
want
sit
a
in
shout
the
out.
doorway while I played because she liked watching
Where's
me do
Sparkles,
something I
Caleb
loved.
Piper?
Now all she could do was call up the stairs.
the hiding
I
of
saw
Jake
how
Kid.
sad it made her, so I decided to do something about it. I unplugged my whole Xbox setup,
That's a
carried it
Ladonna.
down piece by piece, and set
You're
it up
hiding
on the
of
TV
ice
stand
games. I
right
got you,
across from
Ladonna.
her recliner. What in the world are you doing? She asked. You don't have to climb anything to watch me anymore, I told her. I loaded up Portal 2, which is this game where you shoot two portals onto
that's
the
cool.
walls and walk through one to come out the other. She leaned
Chat,
in
I
and
actually
squinted
know
at the
that game.
screen.
Shout out to
Why are there
Sonia.
holes in the walls? I held
Hey,
out
yo,
the
what?
controller and asked if she wanted
out
to
to
try.
Seth.
She
Shout
waved
out to
her hand at it
JNG.
like it might bite her. All those little buttons? I'd never figure that out. I'll just watch. She watched it first, then started pointing at the screen. Put the orange one up high. No, higher. You already tried that. Try the other side. Half the time she was right. There was this one puzzle with a laser and a moving platform that
that's
I'd
cool.
been stuck on for 3 days, and I kept dying. Put your hole on the
Bruh.
ceiling, she said. I did, and I dropped straight into the laser and died again. That didn't work, Grandma. Well, I don't know. Maybe I should just
They
let
were
you
the $1. The Go Gamer. I'm sorry. I couldn't see your donation. W the Go Gamer with the 2, bro. Thank you, the Go Gamer. W the Go Gamer with the $1, bro. Thank you, the Go
Do
Gamer.
it. You are better at this
Thank
than
you,
you
bro.
think. She got quiet for a second, then tapped my arm. Fine, put it on the floor, not the wall. Let the platform carry you up. I almost didn't listen to her, but I did it, and it worked. I looked at her, and she just shrugged like it was obvious. It took us about a
Thank you
month,
for the
but we
jamming
finally
gift. W Luck and Plays with the jamming gift. Thank you, Luck and Plays. W Luck and Plays.
Portal 2. The credits rolled and she clapped, actually clapped, sitting there in her recliner. There's a co-op mode, I told her. 2 people play together, each with our own guy. I've never touched one of those things in my life. I'd be terrible at it. Grandma, you've been playing this whole time. You just weren't holding
They were the
anything.
dollar the
So I
goat
grabbed
gamer.
this
W the goat gamer. Thank you for the dollar, bro. They were the hiding gift bug boy. W the goat gamer.
second controller, put it
Thank
in
you,
her
bro.
hands, and showed her which buttons to press. For years, she'd watched me from that doorway,
W.
too far away to do anything but ask if I'd won. Now she was sitting right next to me on the couch with a controller in her hands, and we beat the co-op together.
W.
My son Dex is autistic. He's also the best 11-year-old with a pair of... A homeless man kept shoplifting in my store, and I regret
nah.
stopping him. A girl got dragged around the corner in my store and screamed from behind the shelf. I instantly ran over and saw a dirty man wrestling her
Oh, hell
for
nah.
a water bottle. I lunged to help her, but he ripped free and sprinted out before I could. I helped her
Bruh.
up, but the next day the man came back and did the same thing. He ripped a sandwich from a kid's hands
What the hell?
and ran out. I knew
Thank you for the Sunday luck and plays. I did not see that. W luck and plays with the Sunday. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Now stop spamming. You were the uncler. I cannot read your name, bro. It's like some Hindi language. But thank you for the uncler, bro. W uncler. W guy who said the uncler. Thank you, bro.
something
W.
was seriously wrong with this guy.
Thank
so
you
the next
so
time
much,
he
dude.
walked in, I watched him closely. He walked
W.
around for a few minutes, and when he thought no one was looking, ran towards an old lady and grabbed a hot dog out of
Oh,
her
hell
hand.
nah.
But I was waiting and yanked him by the shirt. You're not doing this
You're goated.
again.
Thank
He
you,
tried
the
to
goat
pull
gamer.
away, but
You
I
ran
held
out of
onto
jewels?
him and
It's
pulled
good,
out
bro.
my
Thank
phone
you.
to call police. He shook
For
his
all the
head as he
gifts.
saw me dial, tears
Ice
filling
Rage.
his eyes. But I just dialed anyway.
Shout out to Monster
Police
Boy.
arrived and immediately cuffed him, and he didn't say a word to anyone the entire time. They walked him out, and he made eye contact with me while crying. I thought the problem was solved, until a few days later.
Give it a
I smelled
$2,
something
Xander.
rotting
I joined the Discord. I'm purpleguy_0. I join code X.
Okay. Xander, thank you for joining the Discord. I can't join codes right now, but maybe tomorrow. They were the hiding it fucking place. W Xander with the $2. Thank you for joining the Discord server, bro. W Xander.
in an abandoned
Thank you,
alleyway.
Xander.
I followed the smell,
W, bro.
and when I turned the corner, I saw a dog chained up. I sprinted
Oh,
over
nah.
and kneeled down. There was a
W,
cardboard
Xander.
sign.
You were the
I
gold
am
coin
mute.
looking
Teenagers
place.
tied up my dog and beat me up. Please give us food or water to keep him alive. The dog wasn't breathing, and when I looked up, I saw the water bottle and the sandwich wrapper the homeless man stole. I realized this was his dog, and he'd only been stealing so his dog could live.
Sure, Jessica.
But now, thanks to me, his dog was gone. A homeless man.
They were the dollar, the goat gamer. W the goat gamer with the dollar. Thank
When
you,
I
the
picked
goat
my
gamer.
daughter up from school, she
W.
pointed at a car in the parking lot and said, "That creepy man has been watching us all day." I looked over.
Oh, hell nah. Thank you for
My
the
Discord is Bowman
$2,
MD.
Alexander. Bowman. Alright, I'll check it out. W Alexander and the Go Gamer. And thank you for the jamming gift, Cyber Knight. W Cyber Knight, Alexander, and the Go Gamer. Thank you all so much. See where the hiding gift, Leslie. W Alexander, the Go Gamer, and Leslie. Thank you all. And Cyber Knight. And thank you for the dollar, Brantley. W Brantley too. W Brantley, Cyber Knight, Alexander, and the Go Gamer. Thank you all. W.
A man was sitting in a parked car by himself, just staring at the school. I grabbed my daughter's hand. Did he talk to you? No, he just watches us. I knew immediately something was wrong. The next morning, I dropped my
It's
daughter
kinda
off,
sus.
and the man was already there. Same spot, watching every kid walk through the front doors. A
Please
mom
notice
walked
you?
up to
I
me.
noticed
That
you, bro.
man
I got
is here
you.
every single day watching our kids. This isn't safe. I'm gonna confront him. She walked straight up to his car and knocked on the window.
That's a
He rolled
console
his window
gamer.
down, but before she could say anything,
Clanker AI slop. I am not a clanker. I am real. I am not AI generated. I am real.
she gasped. She looked down and saw something shiny and black on his hip, a gun. She backed away slowly and whispered to me, "He has a gun. I'm calling the school right now."
I do not sound like Plushy, bro. They were the jamming gift, Cyber Knight. W Cyber Knight with the jamming gift. Thank you, Cyber Knight. W Cyber Knight. Thank you so much for the jamming gift, bro. You're the go.
Within minutes, the school
W
activated a
Cyber Knight.
lockdown drill. Alarms went off. The man heard the alarm, and his face changed. He grabbed his gun, threw his car door open, and sprinted toward the school. Police arrived and saw a man running toward a school with a gun.
They were the hiding gift, Hazelnuts. They were the jamming gift, Caleb. W Caleb and Cyber Knight. Thank you both. W Caleb and Cyber Knight with the jamming gifts. Thank you both. Face reveal soon. I'm gonna do a face reveal and a setup tour. So stay tuned for that. What's up, Timmy? This is not pre-recorded, bro. W Caleb and Cyber Knight. Even gifts.
They tackled him on the pavement and beat him so badly he had to be carried into an ambulance. He screamed, "Not again! Please! I have to go in!" What he said didn't make sense, but that night I found out what he meant. I was watching the news when his face came up. Turns out his daughter had been killed in a school
R.I.P. bro. R.I.P.
shooting 3 years
Do you play Donut SMP? I'm trying to learn how to play it. I know like the server for it. I try to play it, but I have no lore. Like I don't know about it.
ago. Every day since then, he parked outside schools to watch over other people's kids. He carried a weapon so that if it ever happened again, someone would be there to stop it. When he heard that alarm, he ran toward it, thinking there was a shooter. The man we feared was the only one willing to die for our children, and he did.
W man, bro. They were star. They were the uncler Caleb. W Caleb with the uncler. Thank you, Caleb. Everybody, subscribe if you want a shout out. Let's hit 137K. Give it the jamming gift, Cyber Knight. W Cyber Knight and Caleb with the uncler. Thank you both. Thank you, Cyber Knight for the jamming gift and Caleb for the uncler. W Caleb and Cyber Knight. Thank you. Shout out to JTX. Shout out to Gorilla.
A random service dog ran across the park and pressed his paw into my leg. I immediately shot up because a service dog that was alone meant its owner was in trouble. Let's go, boy. He tore back across the grass and stopped at a woman in a wheelchair with a man standing behind her. She looked completely fine, but the dog leaned into her chair and stared at me, so I crouched down to get a better look. Are you doing okay? She nodded her head violently, but the dog let out a low whine and wedged himself between the man and her chair. The man rested a hand on her shoulder and smiled. We're good, man. She doesn't talk much, but her knuckles were white on the armrests, and tears were sliding down her face.
They were the profile picture? What do you mean?
While she kept nodding. I gave the dog a pat.
They were the gold coin gab the man.
My bad, folks. But as soon as I turned around, I called 911.
They were the jamming gift, Cyber Knight. W Cyber Knight with the jamming gift. W Cyber Knight. Thank you, Cyber Knight. W. That's a Monster Boy. Guys, if you subscribe, I'll give you a shout out. Say I subbed in the chat and got you. W Cyber Knight with the jamming gift, though. Thank you, bro.
Quietly. I train service dogs, and I know a real alert when I see one. A woman's being held against her will at the center park. They told me to stay on the phone,
That's a
and when I turned around, the man looked at my phone and stopped smiling. He spun her chair and shoved her toward the van.
Shout
I
out
was
to
still
Jace.
reading his plate when he slammed the doors and peeled out with the dog chasing the bumper. I wolf whistled and the dog whipped around, and we sprinted for my car together. The van blew the red light.
What the hell? They were the laughing disco. Nico. W Nico with the laughing disco. Thank you, Nico. W Nico with the laughing disco. Shout out to Jace. Shout out to Black Katana. Shout out to Assorted. Shout out to Mini Shadowati. Shout out to Ziva. Shout out to Vanessa. Shout out to Shout out to Digital Worlds. I almost slipped out. Shout out to Felicia. W Nico though with the laughing disco. Thank you, bro. Shout out to Croissant. Shout out to Kate Link. Shout out to Scarfly.
And I stayed on it, the dog's nose smearing the glass.
Keep subbing up, chat.
The police again. White van.
Feel free to send gifts like Laughing Disco's, chat. They were the 2 stars. Duck the train. My bad for missing that, bro.
North on 5th.
They were the hiding gift,
Two
Nico.
cruisers screamed past us at the bridge and boxed him in. Officers dragged him out
Kaylee
while
Jackson.
another lifted her down, and he twisted around in the cuffs. This is a misunderstanding. She's my wife. An officer stood him against the van and asked one question. What's her name? His mouth opened and closed, and nothing came out. He didn't know it. Another officer read her wheelchair tag into his radio. Her name was Grace. She was nonverbal, and she'd been missing from the nursing home since morning.
That's a
I heard the officers
Winter's
speaking
rival.
to each other. He's not her husband. He was a stranger who picked her because she couldn't call for help. I gasped and looked at the dog who saved her life. You're a hero. The dog tore loose, bolted past every officer, and jumped up with his paw against her leg, tail whipping. Grace wrapped both arms around him and buried her face in his fur.
Thank you for the Ungler Sonic VR. W Sonic VR with the Ungler. Chat, we're 6 subs away from 137K. Let's do it. W Sonic VR though with the Ungler. Thank you so much, Sonic VR. W Sonic VR, bro. Thank you for the Ungler. You're the go, bro. You're the go. W Sonic VR.
My dad burst into my room on the 5th year anniversary of Mom's death and twirled his car keys. Come on, son. We're going to visit her. He smelled funny.
They were the Ungler again, Sonic VR. W Sonic VR, bro. Oh my gosh. W Sonic VR. W Sonic VR, bro. Thank you so much for the Ungler Sonic VR. And thank you for the finger heart Sonic VR. W Sonic VR, bro. Thank you, Sonic VR, for all the finger hearts and Unclerts. W Sonic VR. And thank you guys for 137K. Let's go, bro. Shout out to Drift Tops. Shout out to Alex. W 137K and W Sonic VR. Thank you. And thank you for the Laughing Disco Sonic VR. W Sonic VR with the Laughing Disco 2, bro. They would hide and give Heather Brown. W Sonic VR.
And grabbed my wrist tight, dragging me out to the car. He put on Mom's favorite song and began fumbling with his keys before I could even say a word.
W
He peeled
Sonic.
out of the driveway and instantly slammed his foot on the accelerator, doing 90 in a 60.
W137K too, though,
him,
chat.
Dad, please slow down. But he just caressed his and Mom's wedding photos taped to the dashboard, whispering, I'll see you soon. The speedometer climbed past 100, and my heart pounded.
They were the W touchdown.
Because his hands kept sliding off the wheel. I screamed, Dad, no. Mom died because a driver
OJ
hit her. Don't
Web
become the
slinger.
driver that took her. But he instantly turned to me. Don't talk about my wife. His eyes were off the road as he slurred his words.
You were the
A
star,
truck
Heather.
horn blared and swerved around us, and I pulled out my phone with shaking hands.
Oh, hell
I
no.
dialed 911 and screamed,
Where
please.
the hell are they going, bro? They were the W. They were the Core G! Sonic VR! Yo, Sonic VR, how much money do you have? My God. W Sonic VR with the Core G gift. Thank you for the $10 gift. My God. W Sonic VR, bro. Thank you, Sonic VR. W Sonic VR. Thank you, dude. W Sonic. Shout out to Frisk. They were the hiding gift Beckham. They were the Cheers Sonic VR. Bro, at this point, just sent $500. Nah, I'm joking. W Sonic VR. Thank you, dude. W Sonic. They were the 6'7" Logan. W Sonic VR. Actually, bro, you're the GOAT. W Sonic VR. They were the gold coin Marcus. W Sonic VR with a Cheers gift. And the freaking, what was it? The Corgi gift. They were the $2, Alexander. W Alexander 2 with the $2. Thank you, Alexander. Bro's back with the 2 again. W $2. Thank you, Alexander. W Alexander. They were the W Heather Brown. They were the 2 W's Heather Brown. And thank you for the Stay Hydrated. Sonic VR. They were the jamming gift. Rip Kobe. W Rip Kobe and Sonic VR. W RIP Kobe and Sonic VR. Thank you both. They were the 6'7" RIP Kobe. W RIP Kobe and Sonic VR. Holy.
Please trace this
Thank
call.
you.
My dad. But then I felt his hand snatching my phone. He threw
were
it out the
6'7",
window
Brandon.
and laughed. We're visiting Mom tonight, one way or another. Oakwood Cemetery came
Oh,
into
nah.
view, but Dad barely slowed down.
Where's bro going? They were the $2
Another
again,
2.
Alexander. Another 2. Yo. W Alexander. Alexander, man, you're the GOAT, bro. W Alexander. RIP Kobe is your brother. W. Yo, Sonic VR. Thank you for all the gifts. And same for you, RIP Kobe. And W Alexander with the 2, bro. They were the 6'7" Brandon. They were the $2 Sonic VR. W Sonic VR and Brandon. With the jamming gift. Thank you, Brandon. And thank you for the Laughing Disco Ants OSU. W Ants, Brandon, Sonic, and Alexander. They were the thumbs up, Heather. W Ants, Sonic, Alexander, and Brandon. Thank you all. And they were the $2
Sonic VR
RIP
is
Kobe.
my brother.
Oh, yeah, you told me, bro. WRIP Kobe 2. What? WRIP Kobe. Spam W's in the chat. I'm sorry for pausing it a lot. WRIP Kobe 2. Thank you all.
I gripped my seat,
W.
bracing between my sobs, when Dad turned hard. Our car
W.
skidded, and we slammed headfirst into a van coming out of the
Holy.
cemetery gate. The airbags exploded, and I lay there with my face
With the
pressed
gold
against
coin
the white
Braulio.
fabric. Blood trickled from my ear as my head
Oh, nah.
pounded. But then I saw Dad slumped over the wheel. I tapped his shoulder. Dad,
You're hiding
are you
it,
okay?
RIP
But he
Kobe.
wouldn't move. I shook him while Mom's favorite song played in the background, and that's when I saw the empty bottle
Here
under
is
his
5.
feet.
Hiding
The
it,
other
RIP
driver
Kobe.
dialed 911, and suddenly an
Oh,
officer
nah.
was prying open our car. He pressed his fingers to Dad's neck.
Holy. You're riding it, Matt. Oh! What the hell? Yo! Thank you for the $5,
Rick Colby is my
Alexander.
brother.
RIP Colby is your brother? Oh, I did not know that. Thank you for the $2 Sonic VR. And thank you for the $5 Alexander. W Alexander and Sonic VR. Holy, bro. Bro's getting more gifts than typical gamer. I know, bro. W Sonic VR now. Alexander with the 5. Thank you all. W's. Goodness. W's.
And yelled
Thank
over
you.
his shoulder, "We don't have a pulse. Call an ambulance." My legs collapsed, and a cop came over and put a blanket over my shoulders. "Where were you going tonight?" I looked at them covering Dad in white cloth. "To visit
Oh,
my
nah.
dead mom." My dad burst in.
Bro, what?
I was in the kitchen making pancakes when a fire started. But when I lunged
This channel is not from Turkey.
For the extinguisher,
Oh my
I
God.
realized it was gone. I watched the fire spread and remembered my 7-year-old had taken the extinguisher up to his treehouse as
It's
military
over.
equipment. I sprinted out, but as I got up the treehouse ladder, I was greeted
What
with
the
my
hell?
son sitting behind a small table. What is the purpose of your trip to the Republic of Tree?
What the hell? Thank you for the $5, Heather Brown. I did not see that. Thank you for the W Ants. W Heather Brown with the $5. Thank you, Heather Brown. W Heather Brown with the $5. Thank you so much, bro. W Heather Browns. You're the GOAT, man. W Heather Browns. Really, bro. You're the GOAT. W Heather Browns. Thank you so much, dude. Actually. W Heather Brown with the
He
5.
tapped a pen to his clipboard as banners of green flags with trees hung around him. He
We're hiding
treated this
if Goku.
treehouse like a real country. I lunged for the fire extinguisher inside the padlocked box behind him, but 3 of his friends crowded around it and pushed me back like guards. The armory only opens for approved citizens. My son slid me the clipboard with my name, address, date of arrival and departure, and reason for entry. I grabbed my head. There's a fire in the house, son. I need the extinguisher.
Why are they acting like the tree is like so important? Shout out to Animator Flip a Clip.
Rising out the kitchen window, but he
Shout out to Cloud VR official. Shout out to Anno Tina. Shout out to Christian. You're a flower Goku. W Goku.
pointed at the banner behind him. Act 4 of the Constitution of the Republic of Tree.
What
the
the
Republic
hell?
of Tree does not concern itself with the crises of foreign nations.
The
He
hell,
slid
bro?
another form. Since you wish
Thank
to
you,
access
Heather,
this
for the
nation's
5 though.
resources, you'll need to fill this too. My knees went weak as I pictured the fire spreading and started manically just scribbling in the forms. I slid them back, but my son frowned. You forgot your signature here. I signed it red in
nah.
the face, and he pulled out a big stamp. Welcome to the Republic of Tree. He unlocked the box with a key from his pocket, and I ran back to the house and blasted out the fire just as it reached the living room. My hands were still shaking when my son came in and handed me a piece of paper. Here's your visa for
Guys,
the Republic
like
of
up
Tree.
the stream
It's
and
valid
subscribe.
for 30 days. After that, you'll have to reapply. I was in the kitchen making pancakes when
That's
a fire
crazy, bro.
The kid on the mound laughed at me in front of the whole team and said, "You throw like..."
What happened to bro's lip? Oh my God! Shut the
Hi.
app square. Thank you for the $5, Heather Brown. W Heather Brown with the $5. Thank you, Heather Brown. Goodness. Shout out to Steven. What's up, Heather Brown? How you doing, bro? Should he leave it live? It's up to you, Sonic. You don't have to though. W Heather Brown with the $5 donation. Thank you, Heather Brown. W Heather Brown. I swear, at this point, imagine somebody just sends $500, bro. W Heather with the 5 though. Thank you, Heather. If somebody sends $500, that would be insane, bro. Guys, I'm probably gonna end stream after a few more swords. So this is your last chance to subscribe for a shout out. Shout out to the keyboard kid.
Like a girl. I picked up my glove and walked off the field. The other boys were still laughing when I got to
Thank
my
you for
mom's
5
car.
though, Heather
My older
Brown.
sister
W
was in the
Heather.
passenger seat with her college jacket on. She took one look at my face and the glove in my hand and said, "You're not quitting. Get in. We're going to the backyard." My sister pitched for her college team and had a fastball scouts drove 3 hours
Did the poop stain your
to
toilet?
watch. She handed me a ball in the backyard and told
a
me to throw it at the
KKO
fence.
queen.
I threw it and it bounced twice before it got there. She didn't laugh. She walked over and put her hand on my shoulder.
to Angela.
"Your elbow's
Shout out to
dropping,"
Master.
she said. "Watch me." She
Shout out to
wound
Sherry.
up and the ball
Shout out to
cracked against
Lincoln.
the fence so loud our neighbor
Shout out to
opened his
Mrs. Sensei.
window and yelled at us to keep it down. She turned to me and grinned. "That's what we're going for." She
Shout out to Jack and Freddy. Shout out to Nitro and
fixed
Need.
my grip and showed me how her fingers came
Nitro.
off the
Shout out
seams
to
last.
Arlen.
The next one still took 2 bounces to get there, and I almost threw the glove down, but she just handed me another ball. The one after that hit the fence on 1 bounce. The
Love
next
you.
night, I hit it on the fly. The night after that, I
Should he give me $500? That would be insane. Nobody has ever done that. They keep saying that they'll do it, but they don't. They just don't do anything. But that would be insane. Shout out to Monkey.
broke a slat. By the end of the second week, our neighbor stopped
doubt it,
opening
though.
his
Shout out to
window
King
because he knew
Maverick.
it was just us. The next game, the kid
Shout out to
who
Janny.
laughed at me stepped up to the plate. I was pitching. He smirked at me.
Complete 3 challenges. Okay, nah. I'm not doing that. Shout out to Littlest Owl. Thank you for the laughing disco, Ants. W Ants with the laughing disco. Thank you, Ants. Shout out to Catnap. W Ants with the laughing disco. Thank you so much, Ants. W Ants, bro. They were the hiding gift, my kiln. W ants.
Me like he always
were
did.
laughing
I
this
held
guy.
the ball the way my sister showed me, my fingers high on the seams. I threw the
And
first pitch, and the catcher's mitt
what?
cracked so
Oh,
loud
no.
the kid flinched. He swung late, and the catcher already had it. The second pitch he watched go by for strike 2.
Shout
On
to
the third
Nick
pitch,
G.
he swung so hard, the bat slipped out of his hands and
Star.
skidded into the dugout.
That's
Strike
it,
3,
Mrs. Sensei.
the umpire said, and the kid
That's a Abel G.
just stared at me. I didn't pump my fist or yell. I looked up into the bleachers.
Pack it up and get a job. Bro, I'm not even an UG. What? What
and
are we
found
on?
my sister sitting there in her college
That's a
jacket,
not
and I
a-
nodded
not
at her.
a-
She
a-
nodded back.
actually.
I throw like my sister, and my sister throws harder than anyone on that field. The kid.
W.
I reached for a glass of water with my left hand.
This might be the last short that we watched. Leave the 100.
But for some reason, my fingers wouldn't close around it, and I
Josiah.
suddenly felt a crushing pressure in my
Josiah.
chest. My legs gave out, and I dropped to the floor, my vision blurring and arm
Oh,
going
nah.
numb. I realized
Thank
I
you guys for 100K views on the stream.
was
W.
having a heart attack, and the only person in the house with me
We're
was
the
my
W
granddad,
and
who was once a
OSU.
medic, but now had dementia. I yelled,
We're the hiding of
"Ah!"
scales
and he slowly
edits.
stood up and shuffled in confused. He poked my arm with his walking cane and narrowed his eyes. "And who are you?" "I'm your grandson. I'm having a heart attack. Call the ambulance." I felt my words slurring as my chest ached. He went off and came back with a blanket, softly draping it over me and patting my head. "You're shaking so much. You should get some rest. You'll be
Yeah.
better soon." The blanket hovered on my left arm, but I couldn't feel it, and I used my functioning hand to point at the photo of Granddad in his old doctor's uniform. "Grandpa, you were a doctor. Please save me. I don't want to die." He turned his head and stared at the photo. My vision darkened into a tunnel, and the last thing I saw were his eyes change as he looked back. He screamed something, but his voice faded,
What?
and the fear and pain left my body. The world
happening,
went black,
Jack?
but then a sharp pain hit my ribs, and my eyes burst open. Granddad was slamming his palms into my
W.
chest, performing
saving
CPR as tears rolled down his face. He kept repeating my name, and as I sucked in a breath and felt my left
W.
arm move, I sat
the
up
hiding
and
of
grabbed
Jason
him.
the
I
gamer.
sobbed into his shoulder. "You just saved my life." But he was already staring at me blankly. What? What just happened? His brain made him
What?
remember for
What is bro doing?
just long enough to
That's a Fortnite
save
king.
my life. I reached for
Alright, we're gonna watch one last short chat, and then I'm gonna have to end the stream. Alright?
My son buried his face into my uniform, sobbing, "You're alive. You're alive." Mommy said you
Last
died.
short, guys.
I came home from my deployment, and my 6-year-old hit me at the knees so hard
They were the dollar Jason the gamer. They were the hiding of the poop stain in your toilet. They were the star
I
cans,
almost
man.
fell over. I looked up at my wife. She backed away from me. "You weren't supposed to be here yet." I carried my son toward her, and she grabbed my arm on the stairs. "Please just let me explain." I kept walking. His bedroom door was open. His walls were covered in drawings of a soldier with
Shout to
angels.
Door VR. Chat, this is your last chance to get a shout out from me if you subscribe. So subscribe right now, chat. Before I end stream, okay, guys?
Wings. Every single one said,
That's
"I
a
miss you, Daddy."
square.
I put him in his bed, and he grabbed my sleeve. "Don't leave again." I told him I
were the
wasn't
sparkles
going
that
anywhere.
poop stain
I
your
walked down the
toilet.
hall. Our bedroom door was cracked, and there was a man in his boxers sitting on the edge of my bed. He saw me in uniform, and his whole body locked up. He looked at my wife, then at me. "She told me you were dead. I went to your funeral." He stood up shaking. "I moved in here because she said your son needed a father figure." He looked back at her. "Was any of it real?" She stood in the doorway crying.
Shout out to
didn't say
Gorilla
a word.
517.
He put on his clothes,
Shout out to
grabbed his
Jade
bag, and
Didier.
walked to the front door. He stopped
Wait, nah.
and looked at me. "I'm sorry about all of this." I told him he didn't owe me an apology. He nodded and
They were the chili the poop stain in your toilet.
walked out. I looked at my wife. "You need to go too." She
Shout out to Blackout Boom. Shout out to Dad. Shout out to Taco Shower.
opened her mouth.
Shout out to
Now, she grabbed her keys and left. My son was standing at the top of the stairs in his pajamas, holding one of his angel drawings. I picked him up, and he whispered, "I never believed her. I kept drawing you so I wouldn't forget your face."
W
My son-
Kid, W Son, and W Dad. They were the clutch of poop stain in your toilet. Shout out to the Win Hee Hee. Shout out to Asher. Alright, I'm gonna end the stream now, guys. Alright, listen. Thank you all for joining in. I will be live tomorrow. Shout out to Joey. This was a great stream. I want to thank you all for joining. This was great. Shout out to Came On. We also got a lot of gifts and donations, so I also want to thank you guys too for that. We probably gained over at least $200 in this stream, which is insane to think about. They were the hiding of Hufflepuff. But I'm going to end it now. Make sure you guys tomorrow's live stream, okay, guys? Shout out to Braylon. Alright, tomorrow, I'll be live tomorrow at around this time too. So make sure you join in, alright, guys? It'll be fun. They were the hiding of Olivia. But I'm gonna head out now, alright? Chat, shout out to Olivia. Thank you all for the gifts and donations once again. And thank you all for subscribing. We gained over 2,000 subscribers this stream, which is actually insane. So thank you guys for that. I really appreciate it. Alright, so I'm gonna head out now. I will be live tomorrow at around the same time I did stream today. Probably earlier if I can. Because I did stream a bit too late. Guys, it's literally 1 a.m. for me. But I'm gonna head out now. Alright, guys? Also, one more thing before I go. Make sure you join my Discord server, Think of the Flower Adventure of Icton. In my Discord server, I talk to my fans and stuff like that. So if you want to talk to me and talk to my fans, just chill there. Then join my Discord server. It's going to be in my channel links. So if you have Discord, then feel free to join it. Think of the GLHF mark then. But yeah, if you want to join my Discord server. But I'll be live tomorrow, guys, alright? How old am I? I'm 59 going on 60, alright? But I'm going to go now, chat. So, I will be live tomorrow at around the same time, probably earlier. But, I'm going to go now, chat, alright? Peace. Thank you all for joining. Peace, guys. Make sure you join my Discord server. Thank you for the sparkles. Peace.